trucks, and the mobile generators to give your tailgate party an extra boost of energy. Visit your Carolina Ford dealer or buyfordnow.com for great offers and to learn more about F-150 and Super Duty. See Owner's Manual for important operating instructions.
Do you worry about how much someone drinks?
Do you feel neglected or unloved? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you are not alone.
Al-Anon and Alateen can help.
Call 1-866-200-0223 or visit alanon.org/help.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Getting hurt in a car wreck comes with all kinds of stress and frustration. But when you call me, I'll be on top of all of it. So all you need to worry about is getting better. If you've been injured in a car wreck, I'm on top of it. Contact us at ritchielaw.com.
WCMC-FM HD1 Holly Springs.
Edmonton goes to work, puck between the circles again, poked away by DeSmith as he reaches out, and they score! DeSmith tried to poke it away, but it's Jeff Skinner who found it first, 3-0 Edmonton. It's deflected to center, partial break, McDavid scores! The back check from Hintz was all over him, but he was able to hang on and go back to the forehand, and Connor McDavid has given Edmonton a 2-goal lead again. Edmonton will send it the length of the ice into the empty net, and on their way to the Stanley Cup final to meet the Florida Panthers.
You're thinking to yourself, well, those of you who are just tuning in for the first time to this program, is that Adam Gold? And you're like, it could be.
He's got hair.
There's that. But I have the salt and pepper kind, for sure. A lot more salty than peppery these days. But that's because I have kids, I coach youth sports, and I work in sports radio in Raleigh, North Carolina, in the great state of North Carolina.
And the Canes stress us out sometimes.
They do.
It's more so the Panthers.
The Panthers, the Heels, the Pirates. Yeah, a little bit of everything, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Good afternoon, everybody. Good evening, wherever you happen to be tuning into this program. Or if you're live right now, appreciate you hanging out with me. This is Paul Ihander in for Adam Gold today. He lets me sit in from time to time. For those of you who don't know me, I host a program in the Raleigh area on the flagship stage for the Adam Gold Show, 99.9 The Fan. Every morning at 9 o'clock, it's called Next Up. If you haven't checked it out, you should. And again, if you haven't checked it out, shame on you. For those of you watching on YouTube as well. I'm fighting a little bit of a I took in too much baseball diamond dust yesterday.
Oh, yeah, that's a thing.
As I mentioned, I coach youth teams.
Uh-huh.
We had a double header last night. We managed to squeeze it in between storms.
Oh, wow.
Legitimately, we get on the field, 5:30, play through the first game. Second game, we take a break. Starts raining to start the game. And, you know, I'm coaching girls, and they're under the age of 8, and they're all looking at the sky. They go, Coach, it's raining. And I go,
Yeah.
There's going to be a lot more of it.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to get wet. I have a towel just in case. And then it stopped. And we finish up. We have our cupcakes and our orange slices. And as I'm pulling into my driveway,
oh, no.
and the heavens opened up. Mm-hmm. So we got lucky to squeeze it in.
Yep.
And youth sports has been served. I did my best.
There you go.
You know, the job of a youth coach is to make sure that they come back the next day. So hopefully the girls that I coach this year will come back next season.
Yeah.
And that's all I can hope. And I was very proud of them. So congratulations to you. You know who I'm talking about. By the way, as we talk about youth sports, today's a big day. This is a big weekend throughout North Carolina. There are state championships being played. We have baseball, softball, and lacrosse. And so there are 32 high schools that are playing to this weekend for state championships. So for those of you parents who've been packing up coolers and grabbing the field shades or whatever it is, and you have seen your children rise to the occasion. And for those of you coaches and coaches' spouses, because you guys actually carry more of the weight than the coaches do, because you have to put up with the coaches' garbage all season long. Why didn't we execute that play? And then they go, just calm down. Just calm down. You know who you are, coaches, I promise.
Mm-hmm.
You know
who
you are.
Here's
Here's a cupcake. Congratulations to making it this far. Hopefully you have safe travels, and hopefully all your goals and all your runs and all your outs have been well worth it all season, and good luck to you. Again, safe travels. Going to be kind of one of those weird weekends here weather-wise, so hopefully we can squeeze those in. Fingers crossed for all of you out there, all you coaches. I know it's been a long year, and it only gets longer when you have to wait out a rain delay.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Nobody wants that
the
noise.
big question mark.
Yeah, for sure. Also starting up today, the College World Series. We have Carolina playing today, hosting a regional in Chapel Hill, a doubleheader on Friday. Again, it's all about the weather, right? State is playing as well today. Duke and East Carolina. So lots of college baseball action getting underway today. But as we talk about getting underway, I suppose we should let's get it started. And I digress. You heard the other voice on the air, on the audios, wherever you're listening to us. If you're in the car, we appreciate that because cars are really complex these days, and sometimes you can't find a radio or whatever it is you're trying to listen to. Or if you're listening at home or at work on the smart speaker, or for those of you watching on YouTube, I'm making a little heart for you.
It's my mom.
Oh, hi, Victoria's mom.
She watches this all the time.
By the way, the Victoria is here today.
That's me.
Seriously, it took 5 minutes to get in the show for me to acknowledge the fact that you were here, and I apologize for that.
That's okay.
If there's one, it's not. If there's one constant in this program that has to be here, it had better be you. Because it certainly ain't going to be me after today, I promise. Gold's never going to let me sit in this chair again. He's like,
of course.
Come on now, Paul. Jeez.
I love Paul days. We have shenanigans.
Hey, but by the way, today is the last Friday of May. Mm-hmm. And so what would today be, Victoria?
The last May Friday.
The last May Friday. There we go. The last May Friday also happens to be checkout day for the Carolina Hurricanes. Mm-hmm. Today is the day that they all pack up all their stuff in plastic bags and grab their totes and sign pucks for the for each other or whatever it is. I'm sure they do that, right? Don't you think they would do that? Like it's the last day and
off to summer camp.
Right. You know, my mom said, it's like I can only imagine, Logan Stankoven being one of the younger members on this team is probably like, hey, my parents thought it'd be kind of cool if you would sign this for them, Jaccob Slavin.
Yes. Please and thank you.
So
Lady Binger.
So it is checkout day today. It's this is where I think as fans, and this is where as players, some of that initial kind of rawness comes away. You're able to settle in, that emotion goes away. You stop thinking, and I know it's tough to do because the Canes made this deep run, and I know some people are just hockeyed out. They're just hockeyed out right now, and you're like, oh my God, Paul, you're still talking about the Carolina Hurricanes? Well, it's checkout day today, where some of the emotion of the losses are gone in terms of the season being ended, and some of the emotion of like literally just this might be the last time they're in the locker room with this group of guys. It's pretty simple. It's common sense that not everyone is going to be back next year. That is a conversation for Adam Gold to save. That is a conversation for another day. But the Canes are checking out today. So throughout the day, and by the way, that is where Adam Gold is today. Yeah, Adam Gold is at Canes checkout day. He's helping carry bags out to cars. And talking to guys, Dennis Cox, who also hosts Canes Radio Network intermissions and pre- and post games, also out there. So we're going to have a lot of time and a lot of chances to hear from a lot of those guys. We will hear from the captain here in about 20 or so minutes. Jordan Staal had a chance to sit down with him as well. And a number of other players as we see these interviews come in. We will just be a little bit more fluid than normal with this show, but that's the way it's supposed to be, right?
Oh, yeah. It's nothing new.
We just take one swing and take another swing.
Go with the flow.
We will also hear, and in my morning's program that I hosted this morning, we did kind of a ran through, not geeky categories by any means, Victoria, but categories that suggested like who was the player who was the postseason MVP? Mm-hmm. Who was the player that was the regular season MVP? What player kind of overachieved more than anything else? And we ran a few of those down. Our postseason MVP was Jaccob Slavin. And we will have a chat with Jaccob Slavin as well. We were mixed on MVP, to be honest. And hopefully we get a chance to hear from one or both or none of them. We had gone with, and again, I think if you're a Carolina Hurricanes fan or someone who followed the team slightly casually or you're just dialed in, no matter what, you would probably agree with the picks. Seth Jarvis.
Yeah.
Seth Jarvis is a regular season MVP. And a Slavin, of course.
That would be my pick, Slavin.
Okay, Jaccob Slavin.
Because Jarvis has been a little quiet, but he's probably still injured that we don't know about yet.
Oh, man. Yeah, hopefully that... Well, Let's
It's a whole nother can of worms.
Victoria, let's simmer down now.
I know.
Let's simmer down now.
It's not our May Friday that we're
Right? Yeah, I know. You're just killing the Friday groove here. It's Friday now.
I know. Ugh.
The other one, actually, we were leaning on Jordan Martinook. Jordan Martinook, who was pretty much kind of an Iron Man for the team, really played up to that line with Jordan Staal and kind of whoever Rod wanted to throw at that line. I mean, really, they rotated through a ton of guys. I mean, Carrier played with him, Jarvie played with him, Stankoven played with him, Taylor Hall played. I mean, everybody, I think, got a turn on the so-called checking line with the captain Jordan Staal and Jordan Martinook. So we kind of lean on Marty as well. Mm-hmm. Most improved, though, if you had to pick a most improved, and you watched and you were at tons of games this year, Victoria, so you would have an idea.
I'd have to go Jackson Blake.
Jackson Blake.
Yeah,
okay.
Most improved.
Okay.
Just because I feel like he's grown so much over the year that I'm super excited to see how he is next season.
17 goals, 17 helpers.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even have to look that one up. I knew that one right off the top of my head. That's a good pick. A lot of people called me crazy for this one this morning. I said Pyotr Kochetkov.
Yeah.
I said Pyotr Kochetkov, who played the most games in a season for him in his career. He played 47 this season.
He did.
Kind of stalled out a little bit when he hit game 41.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, admittedly, kind of had a little rough go, but it was really more about he had to play in front of a team that had already clinched a playoff spot.
Mm-hmm.
And they knew exactly that they were going to play New Jersey, exactly what they were going to do in the postseason. But it's not like he was giving up 6 goals a game. His goals allowed average was still well below 3.
Yeah, he got us to the playoffs.
And got us there and played through a stretch to where there was no true backup for him.
Right.
There were, I don't say backups lightly when it comes to the Hurricanes. I believe they played 5 goalies this season.
Yeah, I was out there at one point.
Victoria was out there like,
Matrix move.
Right. Blocker side. Everything's blocker side for me, Coach.
I know. Just standing there like a starfish. Yeah, I tried.
Starfish.
Mm-hmm. Nothing back here.
But I think for him, he had substitutes, but not backups. And so he had to kind of lean in on them a little bit, and that's what it is. So,
we didn't have Antti Ranta like last season.
There was no
we had a third option.
Right, there was no proven third option.
2.
I mean, they had Spencer for a while, and Yanni Peretz, I believe, had to grab a few. So for the Carolina Hurricanes, checkout day today. Again, we will hear from tons of the guys throughout the program today, and I'm sure you will hear something quippy from somebody at some point. So hopefully we are the lucky recipients of that. All right, moving on. The New York Knicks have survived, and I say survived. What? You're sad about this?
They're still in it. No, I mean...
Did you place a bet on the Pacers?
I almost did. But
Okay.
no, it's fine. I think basketball fans, they want more basketball, so I'm here for it.
Sure. And so the Oklahoma City Thunder, who are just sitting on their hands, like those of you who are watching me in the studio, just... Okay. I just became a meme, by the way. Knicks survived. They played some really good help defense against Indiana, really kept them under control. I mean, Karl Anthony Towns just talked about being aggressive. Jalen Brunson just, kind of trying to take over like he normally does. He's that kind of a guy. But for Indiana, and that help that New York kept throwing around really kept Indiana from getting into a game and getting into its groove more than anything else. And it really stymied Tyrese Halliburton. Tyrese Halliburton talked about his struggle in just kind of getting any sort of offensive momentum.
Yeah, rough night for me. I got to be better, setting the tone, getting downhill. I feel like I didn't do a great job of that. But I watched the film. There were some different things they did defensively. But for the most part, I think their base stuff was the same. They picked up the pressure a little bit more, tried to apply more as the game went on. But yeah, I got to be better, and I'll be better in Game 6. But, I watched the film and, learn from it like I always try to do and, be prepared for Game 6.
My favorite quote, by the way, when you listen to that, do you not just hear like the Dave Canales school of press conferences?
Big time.
We're going to go back and watch a film. We're going to go back and get some improvement going. How does it always come back to the NFL, Victoria?
I know, it always does. Always back to the Panthers.
Tyrese Halliburton had 8 points last night. I'm counting on camera for those who can see it. 8. I can hold them on both fingers. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
That's the problem. If Tyrese Halliburton can't get going, he was 2 for 7 from the field. He took 7 shots. In the win against the Knicks the game prior, he had 23 shots. Like, he doesn't take this few shots unless he's not needed on the floor or the team is losing. And so as he goes, the Indiana Pacers go. And the Indiana Pacers going home for Game 6 will help them a ton. And I think for the Pacers, who are looking to go back to the NBA Finals, I believe it was 2000. So we're talking a quarter decade.
That's a long time ago.
Especially in the NBA.
Yes.
To get back, to go down, and you can just run through the litany of Pacers players that have come and gone through the Pacers. I always think of Austin Crozier for some reason. I don't know why that always comes up with Austin Crozier, but as they move forward, this team, I think this is going to be a relatively lopsided affair come Saturday night in Indiana. And I don't think the Pacers will let the Knicks go back home with any sort of hope. They will just go back home and pack their bags for vacation.
Right.
Just my personal humble opinion. Humble. That's me, known as Mr. Humble. All right, next bit here. So Edmonton is on the revenge tour to the Stanley Cup. I know you guys are like, oh my God, Paul, hockey, you're going to give us all this Canes audio later on, but it means something right now, because if you're a Carolina Hurricanes fan, you're thinking two different directions. One, I hope Florida wins, because if we lost to the next Stanley Cup champions, we're cool with that. The Florida Panthers are building a dynasty. As much as we dislike Paul Maurice and what Bill Zito did during the trading deadline in securing Brad Marchand, blah, and Seth Jones, blah, that team circumvents the salary cap, blah, more than the federal government deals with deficits.
Mm-hmm.
Edmonton doubled up Dallas last night 6-3. So Canes fans, NHL fans thinking the other way, Edmonton, we would love to see them get that Stanley Cup back after 3 decades of futility.
Right.
It's been 1990. We just talk about just getting to the Cup and winning the Cup. Indiana hasn't been to the finals in 25 years. Edmonton hasn't won a Cup in more than 3 decades.
Right.
That is Hockey Town, Canada.
It is. Have you seen the screens where all the people are outside cheering like they're not even in a stadium? They're just in some kind of parking lot or something.
They just want to be part of it.
I love it.
I think it's great. They just want to be part of the vibe.
Yep.
So Edmonton knocks out Dallas, and again, if you're a Canes fan, you're like, oh, okay, that's nice too. But Edmonton is going on a revenge tour, and here's why I say revenge tour. First, let's hear what Connor McDavid had to say about his upcoming rematch with Florida.
Going up against a great team. The Stanley Cup champs from last year, 3rd finals in a row. Not much you could say about them. They're great. We'll have our hands full, but we're a good team. We're a special team. And we feel good about our game.
And they should feel good about their game.
I would feel better about it if they had Zach Hyman.
Yeah, I know.
That's the one concern I have for them.
But and he had surgery, by the way, so he's done.
Yeah.
There is no return for Zach Hyman. But you know who got redemption? And Carolina Hurricanes fans will know this name. Who got his first Stanley Cup playoffs postseason goal?
Corey Perry?
Jeff Skinner.
Corey Perry got one yesterday. I was like,
Corey
look at you.
Perry.
Look how you 40-year-old. Look at you.
Jeff Skinner. Corey Perry. What was the thing about Corey Perry?
Oh, it was a good game last night. See, because I feel like how you said maybe some Canes fans really want the Panthers to win, so you feel better about losing to the Panthers.
Sure.
Or you could take the other option
Yep.
and want them to lose, so Paul Maurice could not shake hands at the end.
Right. You don't get to shake hands.
Sorry, buddy.
Right. Yeah,
Coaches aren't supposed to be shaking hands with the players.
You weren't on the ice, so hey, listen.
See ya.
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's bogus.
Yeah.
It's so disliked.
I know.
So Edmonton on the revenge tour last year, 7 games against the Edmonton Oilers. They were down 3-0, and they had to take it back to Florida to get Game 7. Again, 1 game goal more than anything else. Here's why it's a revenge tour, and they're saying it's business and whatnot, but it's really rare. And I think universally there is an agreement that it's very difficult to return to the Stanley Cup Finals. Let alone you're not Florida or Tampa. That's just what they do for the past decade. The hockey is really a Florida sport, right? I mean, it's really Tampa or Miami. It's where they play the best hockey. But for Edmonton, last year not getting that one and getting back to this moment would only seal it better for revenge, and here's why. And to relate to those of you who are clamoring for more basketball and are trying to figure out, okay, Paul, what are you talking about? I'm not a hockey guy. I don't do that hockey. In 2013, the San Antonio Spurs went to Miami, and in Game 7, we're leading this game. And Miami started this comeback. and fans were leaving the game. And as Miami was making the comeback in the game 6, as Miami was making the comeback, they were trying to get back into the arena because they were in their cars going, oh, wait a second, the Heat are coming back. Heat come back, win the game, end up winning the World Championship 2013. Sour, sour taste in the mouth of San Antonio Spurs. And then the next year, the Spurs run it back against the Miami Heat, win the World Championship. Kawhi Leonard led the way. Kawhi Leonard has this weird relationship with San Antonio, but he did bring them their last World Championship, and Greg Popovich was there. It was full revenge. But as hard as it is in the NBA to get back to a Stanley Cup final, it is just as difficult in the NHL to do the same thing. And that's where this is the Edmonton Revenge Tour.
Oh, yeah.
There's no doubt about it.
Did you see how Edmonton also, ever since last season, played clips from their loss, Game 7 of last season, as, like, momentum? So they've been using that all season long to, like, fuel them.
Right.
I'm on the Oiler train.
Okay, there you go.
I know. Toot. Yeah, I don't know. I'm the opposite fan way. It's like, yeah, you might have won, but how about the Oilers?
All right, so the Revenge Tour for Edmonton. All right, got a couple more here as we keep getting things started. Cooper Flagg, the consensus number 1 pick coming in the 2025 NBA Draft. There's a report, actually not a report, but on a podcast that recently came out, Bob Costas sat down with author Howard Bryant, just picking this up. And the two had to sit down in front of a live audience. And Howard Bryant, who's a longtime sports journalist, asked Bob Costas, he goes, do you know how much Cooper Flagg earned in NIL at Duke? Bob Costas said no. Howard gave the answer that the audience went, $28 million.
Wow.
$28 million. Now, this came like almost an hour into this talk. It's like, oh my God, couldn't you even lead with that first? New Balance. He had to deal with New Balance. Of course, Duke's not a New Balance school, so they had to balance that out. No pun intended.
Well, I see what you did there.
And then he had wow. And then he had a $15 million deal with Fanatics. Because he signed cards and made appearances and signed a bunch of stuff. He has card deals and things like that. And that's just kind of totality, not annual payments. So that was a big deal. So just imagine in terms of like his NIL valuation. His NIL valuation was like $5 million. So we're severely underestimating the power, first of all, of a kind of a unicorn dragon type player.
Yeah.
And then kind of the Duke brand, right? The Duke Brotherhood. And so clearly was the leading number in basketball when it came to NIL money. And that is the fact that his NIL was $5 million and the number 28 comes out suggests that we still have zero grasp of what NIL is right now and what guys are getting paid. And, you know, he had nothing. I mean, I say nothing more to gain for a National Player of the Year other than a national championship. But his whole life at this point, going through Duke and gearing up, is to play for that monster NBA contract that he's going to get in year 5 of his time in the NBA.
Yeah.
But $28 million?
It's a little bit more than 5.
It's a little bit more, yeah, a little bit more than 5. But seriously, when that number comes out, you're thinking to yourself, man, I have no clue what dudes are getting paid or women are getting paid at this point. Women still have more NIL opportunities in college as opposed to going to the WNBA or playing professionally overseas.
Yeah.
Like, the NIL money is out there. I think we are clearly underestimating how much money is available to top-tier players.
Doesn't it make you hate that wasn't a thing back, like, when we played sports? Not that I could be good enough maybe to swim and make NIL money, but I would try.
I think of when you get to that point, of kind of like dollars and cents, and I was not a college athlete. I did not play in college. My wife was a collegiate athlete, had scholarship money.
Nice.
But I have 2 kids. I don't have like aspirational goals. You're going to play Division I sports or whatever it is and go make some coin, but that's always in the back of your head. And you see it more and more because in a lot of cases, some kids aren't getting life-changing money, but it makes life a lot easier. A lot simpler to where I'm really tired tonight. And I think grown-ass adults go through this too.
Yes.
Like, you are tired. I don't want to have to go out somewhere and get some food. Someone will deliver it to me. But in some cases, for some athletes, I'm not having to hunt down the coupons that were slipped onto my doorknob at my apartment going, man, do you think we should all chip in for a cheese pizza and we can each have a couple slices?
Right.
It's like they didn't think about it. Flash open the app, boop, 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 pop something in.
Done.
Decent food, and it's nutritious food, too.
Yeah.
That shows up at your house. Those are the kinds of differences I think that athletes deal with these days. Not just dealing with the money, but understanding what that money does for them and how it changes their lives, as simple as it may stand. Not everybody gets to go home and help out their mom and buy Uncle Bob a new car because that's the guy who raised him.
Sure.
That's just not how it works. All right, one more thing here for you, and this is college football related. Sonny Dykes, the head coach at Texas Christian University, wonders how he got so lucky in drawing Bill Belichick, the hottest name in collegiate football coaching, as his opening night opponent in 2025.
What?
TCU is playing North Carolina on national television on Labor Day night.
Wow.
And Sonny Dykes joked at the Big 12 meetings how he could get so lucky in drawing such a primetime opponent, and that is a pun intended, because he drew Deion Sanders in his debut in 2023, in which Sanders and Colorado were riding so high and beat TCU in that opening game on that Saturday.
Yikes.
And it's jokey. I totally get it. For Dykes, it's great because his program at TCU gets some national spotlight. But, man, if you want to talk about, like, facing another team that's, like, super fired up and getting ready to go for a national event, regardless of what happens in that game.
It's bittersweet.
You know the Tar Heels are going to come running out of that tunnel.
Yeah.
And it's like, all right, ramped up just a little teeny bit.
Yeah.
And TCU's like, again?
Here we are.
We got to deal with another one of these situations.
What?
So, anyway, hat tip to Sonny Dykes for kind of making it amusing for everybody. But I'm like, I feel for you, dude.
Yeah.
I do.
You can tell he's got a good sense of humor because everyone literally would be like, are you serious? Should I go buy a lottery ticket? Like, what is going on?
That is Victoria, the constant here on the Adam Gold Show. Paul Ihander filling in for Adam today. I appreciate him letting me sit in the chair. Coming up, as we mentioned as we kicked off the program, it is Canes checkout day. A lot of goodbyes. A lot of reflection with a little bit of the emotion taken out, a little bit of bass taken out of the voice. And we will get one of those goodbyes coming up as we say goodbye for the summer to the captain next up on The Adam Gold Show.
Talking sports, dropping truth. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
We have to talk to the Atlantic Coast Conference. Why in the world are State and Carolina not playing 2 college basketball games this season? For the first time in over a century, Carolina won't host State and men's basketball. What do you think your media partners want? More or less rivalries? We know the answer.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
If Heineken Silver was a 60-second radio ad, it'd tell you all the stuff you need to know in only 30 seconds to keep things light and refreshing. Seriously, time me. Heineken Silver, a world-class light beer that's surprisingly crisp and refreshing. Made with only premium quality ingredients and just 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories. All without compromising on taste. Heineken Silver. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly. Whew. 30 seconds. That's it. Done. Peace.
This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell. Serving in the military requires great sacrifices, not just for one's country, but also for one's family. Not surprisingly, divorce for soldiers is especially difficult, and it raises a number of challenges that are peculiar to military divorce, things such as deployments, relocation, retirement benefits. These issues can be complicated. So if you're a soldier facing such challenges, go to CordellCordell.com.
Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois. CordellCordell.com.
Westwood One Sports presents this special tennis update. First round departure of Taylor Fritz, Tommy Paul at number 12. Highest seeded American left in the men's singles in Paris. He nearly lost in the second round. He was down 2 sets. His opponent at one point was serving for the match. Paul survived, and he won another long one today, 5 sets over the Russian Karin Khachanov. And Paul has now reached the 4th round in all of the 4 most recent Grand Slams, of course, played on 3 different surfaces. Speaking of Americans, Ben Shelton early on in his match with Matteo Gigante. Shelton leads 4-1. Americans collide when Francis Tiafoe meets Sebastian Corda. Holger Rune, the 22-year-old from from Denmark, seeded 10th, won his match in 5 sets. He was down 2-1. 8th-seeded Lorenzo Musetti, 1-4. The women's favorites are Arina Sabalenka and Iga Swiatek, the top seed, and the 3-time defending champion. They both won. Neither has yet to lose a set. With this tennis update, John Stashower, Westwood One Sports.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
The Jeep brand has always stood for American freedom. And now we're standing with you with Employee Pricing Plus. Hurry into your Jeep brand dealer for details today and join the family. Jeep, there's only one. Offer valid on select 2024 and 2025 Jeep brand vehicles for non-FCA employees and retirees. $200 admin fee applies. Not all buyers will qualify. Restrictions apply. Does not apply to leases. Ends June 2nd, 2025. Jeep is a registered trademark of FCA US LLC.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like fences. A house with a big yard and a white picket fence was always the dream. But then you saw the price to install a fence and you're wondering if the color is driving the price up. Nobody ever dreams of a beige or a gray picket fence, right? So maybe those fences are cheaper. But no, they're not. Then you remember that switching your home and auto to Progressive could save you hundreds and make all your dreams of a fence come true. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
This is Adam Gold.
We had lightning hit a pretty large tree.
Oh, yeah.
About 150 yards from the house. It'll be my sign to go win the lottery. But you know what? I'm sorry, I can't. I have rules. If it's not over $1 billion, I'm not playing.
Yeah, still just millions.
The Adam Gold Show.
I won't sing, but I could. I really could. The Spin
It's a
Doctors.
Good one.
Yeah.
Oh, so good.
Paul Lyhander in for Adam Gold today. Appreciate Adam letting me sit in the chair. I'll be here all day. Don't forget to tip your waiter. Victoria's here as well. Today is Cane's checkout day. For those of you who are listening to us on delay or whatnot, I'm sure you listen to this on the podcast or you watch us on YouTube when we're live. But today is Cane's checkout day. I could just say Friday or Friday, I suppose. Throughout the program, we're going to listen to and hear from a bunch of the players who are packing up their bags, getting ready to go to the lake or the cabin, or honestly, some of them probably going to go back and do some lifting, like our next visitor here to the Adam Gold Show. He is one of only, and this is an interesting statistic some of you may not know, 3 Carolina Hurricanes scored shorthanded goals during the regular season. Can you name all 3? This is a trivia question, I think, in 2024-2025 for the Carolina Hurricanes, who a lot of people agree overachieved a little bit this year by making it to the Eastern Conference Final. Or underachieved because you do not set any goal less than winning the damn Stanley Cup.
Right?
Anyway, I'm joking. I'm joking. Victoria, can you name all 3?
Well, I know Jarvie.
All right, there's one.
That's
Seth
the
Jarvis.
First
one.
Let me see. Svetch.
No.
What?
Andrei Svechnikov did not score a shorthanded goal.
Empty netters.
Shorthanded goal. Empty netters, no problems there. Shorthanded goals. So Seth Jarvis.
Oh, wow. Well, obviously, I think our next guest.
Okay.
Staal.
Okay, yep, that's 2.
Martinook?
Nope, there's only one other.
Oh, no.
Only one other dude.
One other dude. I don't know.
We should probably go sit by the dock and go...
Oh, Fishy!
Sebastian Aho.
Oh, there
Only
you go.
3. Seth Jarvis had 5, Sebastian Aho had 3, and the speedy Jordan Staal had 2 shorthanded goals. Here's Jordan Staal sitting down with Adam Gold.
How do you decompress from, we were here 2 nights ago, and as a sudden end, was there any sort of celebration as a group? How do you decompress from it all?
Usually the end of the year plays out kind of similar. Obviously, you take the day and just turn your brain off and think about things. But we usually get the team together again and have a good night and get the wives together and just kind of a little send off before everything goes and try to figure out some things that we can do better and have a few libations and enjoy the evening.
We're not into sauna beers yet.
Yeah.
Well, that's for later. All right. So, what are you when you're getting together as a group? Because everybody's about to scatter. What are the discussions about? What could we have done better here, or the discussions about like just the time that you guys spent together?
Yeah, it's all of it. I mean, it's just like hanging out with your buddies, and you can talk about their family, you can talk about the season, you can talk about work, you can talk about play, what they're up to this summer. It's really just hanging out with your friends, and like I said, what we battled through, and it's been a pleasure these last few years playing with guys for so long, and really just becoming so close. It's just hanging out with your friends.
All right, so walk me through the season. When you think back on it, was this a good season?
I said like our regular season was okay. I mean, I think we were playing good enough to win a few games here and there. We didn't. I don't think we were as consistent as we'd like, and there's a few hiccups with just really having a lot of new guys and trying to figure out who we were again. It's every year you have to kind of bring out your identity and figure it out, and it took us a little while. I thought we had a couple streaks that kind of saved us and got us where we wanted to be, which was in playoffs. And like I said, once you're in playoffs, every team believes they can win it. And we were no different. I thought we played a great first series. Obviously, a little bit depleted Jersey team, which helped. Played great against Wash. We really had control of that whole series, I thought. And then came up short to a very good team. I think the first two games really kind of lost it for us. Just didn't play well enough those first two games. We started to get our game together, and it was too late, and that was it.
I'll get back to Florida in a second. The narratives you addressed it before. The national media comes in. They don't spend a lot of time covering the Hurricanes during the year, so we see you every day. And the narratives, the boring, the system, which Florida plays, if I'm not mistaken, and the losing streak in the conference finals. Because you guys, you're asked about it. Which of those bothers you the most? Or which of those is just more of an annoyance than the others?
I would say the losing streak, honestly. Like we not that it mattered, but I wanted to win. So we need to win a game to move on. So that was, and they weren't wrong. I mean, not that it really mattered anyway, but we needed to win a game. So that was probably the biggest thing. But I think the boring stuff I didn't really care. It is what it is. Like that doesn't bother me yet one bit. And then that was it. Really, just wanted to win.
You mentioned that there were two streaks during the season that kind of saved you. The first one was when Marty Necas touched the sun. Mm-hmm. He was everything. I joked, if Marty passed you the puck, just shoot it. Don't care where you are. Yeah. It's gonna be a goal because he's getting a point. And then after the Rantanen trade, you guys seemed to get to your game for about 3 weeks. Piled up a bunch of points. There were a lot of wins. So I just wonder, was it a relief when that whole saga played out? Because that was, I'm sure, maybe more trying on Aho than you guys because of the personal relationship. But as the captain, how did that whole thing feel for about a month or so?
Yeah, 100% it was a relief. I mean, not that it was relief that he left. It was relief that we had it figured out and we were moving on. Right. It was just such a limbo time, and I felt bad for him. I felt bad for the whole situation. It was just weird. It just you don't see that very often. You don't see a superstar just get moved out of nowhere, not really realizing he's going to get moved, and then kind of demanding an extension and not sure what he's doing, and then on his way back out again. It's just it was, and we're trying to win games, and he's can't score, and he's getting frustrated, and kind of playing like we want to, but not really. But no one's really saying anything. It was just it's just it was a hard thing to do, and I felt bad for the whole situation. Was just weird. So I could see why we played a little more relaxed and better once he left. Just solely that it was done, and we could focus on now doing what we wanted to do, which was have a great playoffs and get in the playoffs and have a great run. So, it was that was probably one of the more interesting times for me in my whole career, really. Just I had never experienced anything like that before.
Yeah, test you as the captain. Final thing, and I talked to Jacob about this, and when I think about this year, the number one thing I'm going to think about, weirdly, is the handshake line against the Devils. Because of Brett. Because he's, in a lot of ways, still here, I think. What was that like for you?
Yeah. I mean, when he was here, we talked so much about, when we win it all that stuff. It just like we have been through so much, and and he's such a hard on his sleeve guy, and it's just it was tough to see him go, and and this game is a business and all that stuff, but he just. Yeah, it would have been nice if he was still here. Obviously, the long story short.
Maybe we can get him back.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? But and he was their best player. I thought that whole playoff. Mm-hmm. Like he's a great player. Yeah, I don't know. It's just it's hockey. Obviously, we had such a great friendship, and he's such a good dude, and and he battled hard and wanted to win. And then and you shake hands like man.
No, you guys hugged.
Yeah, we had a lot of hugs. Mm-hmm. I'm sure he had a few more than I did in that line, but it was good memories.
Adam Gold and the captain of the Carolina Hurricanes, Jordan Staal, during the Adam Gold Show. Some interesting takeaways from that one. And with Jordan Staal, you get real talk more than anything else. Like, it is straight shooting. There's not a lot of coloring in between the lines. He only hemmed a little bit, obviously, about the question about the Rantanen trade, Victoria, and how that came down and how it affected the team. I mean, I think that's about as close to the surface as you're going to get when he called it a weird time.
Right.
And it was such a limited time with the team and kind of the emotions of what was going through it and the uncertainty.
Mm-hmm.
That's squarely on situation. You have to lay that on the feet. If you have to lay that on the feet, you have to lay that on the feet of general manager Eric Tulsky for taking the swing, but perhaps not understanding exactly what the true intentions were going to be and if this was going to be a true signing or a true fit for this team in terms of just, like, can they assimilate or can Mikko Rantanen assimilate or fit into this club? It didn't work out. No one blames him for this. No one blames the front office for a swing like that.
Sure, yeah.
I think I would trade for any superstar who put up top 5, top 10 numbers in the National Hockey League.
People would be more upset if we didn't because of last season. It didn't feel like we had the Jake
swings.
Gensel thing.
Right, Jake Gensel, who ended up walking away. Mm-hmm. And so, but you get a spark plug back, and this team moves forward. And again, with Jordan Staal, he talks about hiccups, right? There was a few hiccups and a few things, and trying to make their way through. And so when he calls the season okay, and this is from the guy who was on the ice, the guy who scored the 2 shorthanded goals and put up 13 goals this season in 75 games as your captain for the Carolina Hurricanes. He said the season was okay. That is clearly mindset. That is clearly him saying, we had bigger aspirations. We clearly did. And there's something to be said about that. One-timers on the way here on the Adam Gold Show.
Making more sports sense than social media trolls. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, and we're always trying to spice it up. It is a First Inning Friday. This is new. This is great. FanDuel hooking all customers up with a special offer you can use on early game MLB action. Put your baseball knowledge to the test. First swing, how about no runs? How about yes runs? First inning bets, will anybody score in the first frame? Check each team's season stats right on the FanDuel app and make the call. Every First Inning Friday, you can even expect a special reward, a profit boost, a no-sweat bet, or more. So make sure, come back every week and check it out. FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel.com/AGS. For America's #1 sportsbook, make every moment more. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
The Body Armor State Games are coming to Greensboro this June. Registration is open to athletes of all ages and skill levels in 20 different sports. The Body Armor State Games feature 11,000 athletes and 600 teams. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Visit bodyarmorstategames.org today. That's bodyarmorstategames.org. The Body Armor State Games are proud to partner with Truist, Lowe's Foods, and Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Bluebell Groom's Cake Ice Cream is renewing its vows on the frozen aisle. Milk chocolate ice cream with chocolate cake pieces, chocolate-coated strawberry hearts, swirls of strawberry sauce, and chocolate icing. See you at the reception.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at your local grocer and pick up your favorite flavor today.
Have you ever heard of paramedics who don't just respond to emergencies, but work to prevent them? The North Carolina Healthcare Association invites you to listen to this month's podcast, Conversations on the State of Healthcare. Cape Fear Valley Health's Community Paramedic Program is a groundbreaking initiative where paramedics aren't just transporting patients, they're building bridges to better care, right from the patient's living room. Here's Cape Fear's Alinda Bailey.
We're not just asking, what's your medical emergency? We're asking, do you have problems obtaining your medicines? Can you get to your appointments? Are you safe? Are you supported? We try to identify not only the medical needs, the mental health needs, but also the social determinants that play a factor in the care of our patients and clients.
Join our latest Conversations on the State of Healthcare wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. And learn more by visiting nchealthcare.org.
Are you struggling with your Medicare drug costs? The NC Department of Insurance SHIP program may be able to help. The Extra Help and Medicare savings programs are available for those who qualify, but you have to apply. Contact SHIP today to see if you qualify. Visit ncshiip.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212. SHIP provides free, unbiased help in all 100 counties.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
This is Adam Gold.
I did love that Rod video with him, though, when he was trying to communicate.
Yeah, you speak hockey.
And he was like, it's okay, you don't need to know this, you know hockey. And I was like, oh, heartstrings. It's fantastic.
Yeah, no, it was awesome.
The Adam Gold Show.
Am I? Smash Mouth. Do you know the movie where this came from, Victoria?
Where it came from?
Yeah, so Paul Lyhander in for Adam Gold today. Thanks for hanging out with us on this Friday, last day of May. You made it, by the way. Congratulations.
We did.
Congratulations.
Does NSYNC, they don't have an end of May. It's not going to be May.
It's going to be June. By the way, he says it's going to be me.
Yes.
He says me.
He just says
Justin
it
Timberlake
very
says
weird.
me, not meh.
That was Frosted Tip, Justin Timberlake.
I had frosted tips back in the
Did you?
day. Yep. I had frosted tips.
Nice.
I had Dawson's Creek hair, for those of you who know
Oh,
that show.
yeah. People know around here.
Yeah, I had some Dawson's Creek hair. I had the big waviness and the frosted tips. I wanted to be Dawson Leary. I wanted girls to climb through my upstairs bedroom window.
Right, like Rapunzel.
Hang out with me. I was all about that noise. I was. Who didn't want a Joey?
Yeah, I know. Well, it's like I watched Clarissa Explains It All, and she had her bestie Sam, who would climb up and jump in through her window, and she also had like an alligator or something in
Melissa
her room.
Joan Hart.
Yes, that one.
By the way, when we started the segment, I said, do you know what movie that All-Star came from by Smash Mouth? Mystery Men.
Oh, okay.
Mystery Men, which was laden with way too many stars for its own good for a movie that was kind of slightly mediocre. Ben Stiller, William Macy, Janine Garofalo, Paul Rubens. I could go on and on and on. Greg Kinnear.
Yeah.
He played Captain Amazing. Underrated film. Go out and see it. Mystery Men. It's got to be streaming somewhere. All right.
I'm sure it's somewhere.
Time for some one-timers.
Okay, so...
All right, Victoria, I need a little drink of water here.
I
so
know,
take your time.
you're fine. You're fine. So just to remind anyone, you can YouTube stream us and ask your question there, or you can at me on Twitter. We've got a little bit of both for you.
Okay,
And I
we'll
have
take it.
some that I've come up with. So we'll start. Christopher wants to know, how crucial is the offseason for the Carolina Hurricanes to build an authentic Stanley Cup contending roster?
Crucial. Okay, so in terms of putting together this team, they seem to be settled with goaltending. I'm not quite so sure. It's only a one-year deal for Anderson. There's only one more deal hooked up to Kochetkov, really, and they're very friendly prices. So I think if this team can address some of that goaltending, if it just doesn't go right for them, there's not much out there, but you have a lot of salary to play with. So if you're thinking about making a deal, and Eric Tulsky, the general manager of the Carolina Hurricanes, we know he's apt to make a deal. I think you may have to address that early on. As for defense, you're going to go through some growing pains. If you see some of the parting of the ways with unrestricted free agents in Burns and Orlov, you have Nikishin, who's in a prove-it year. He's only got 1 year under that rookie contract. He's here to make sure that you understand that he is a Russian powerhouse. He is 6'3" tall, and he is chiseled. That will be trouble. We go through some of the obvious things when it comes to the Carolina Hurricanes. They need a volume shooter. And the volume shooters right now are Seth Jarvis and Andrei Svechnikov. And Seth Jarvis might be better settled into a second-line role because of that pressure that top line always faces with Sebastian Aho and whoever he's flanking. I think Aho and Svech, I think they would make a better pair, for me, personally. I think Jarvis fits in on kind of a more energy scoring line, and whoever would be opposite Jarvis could be that guy. Volume guy. And they've tried, right? They've tried for it. And I think we all agree that we all wanted Mikko Rantanen to work out. It didn't. So we all left with that sour taste. And the Hurricanes were left with cases and cases and cases of T-shirts with Mikko Rantanen on them.
Mm-hmm.
And they tried with Jake Gensel. And the money didn't quite work out. There are some names out there that I know Mr. Adam Gold is not enamored with. But I think you have to take, again, the big swing. You have the fifth most salary cap space to work with right now in the league. And you're going to probably overpay for a couple of, maybe some defensive help, certainly someone to pair with Gostisbehere or Nikishin, or maybe even Slavin, because I'm not sure Sean Walker goes all the way to the top, but we know he's capable of doing that. That's where you need the fixes. And we always talk about centers and how this team needs centers. Yeah. I'm not too sure. I just need someone to get my high-volume guy the puck.
Yeah.
And give them opportunities. Because that one guy, and you see it throughout the entire league, that one player, no matter who it is, always creates opportunity by just being on the ice. And I'm not sure the Hurricanes have that player right now.
Yeah, exactly. Well, next up we've got one from Matthew. And I kind of mentioned this earlier
Matthew
with Paul
Tkachuk.
Maurice, who did not want Rod and company coaches to shake hands. And I've also heard this theory. So he wants to know, the handshake line, is it possible that Paul Maurice didn't want his pending free agents shaking Rod's hand because he didn't want them to have any face-to-face time with the best coach in the NHL?
We're talking about Sam Reinhart.
Oh,
Is that
yeah.
what we're talking about? I enjoy a good conspiracy theory just as much as the next person. Paul Maurice, listen, I've said this out loud before. I said if and I coach youth sports. If youth sports coaches didn't shake hands after a game, parents would jump onto the field going, what is going on? I think Paul Maurice could have shown a little bit of just kind of decorum and class in a league that drips with tradition. However, maybe he's just a germaphobe. And he didn't want to catch anything after that opening series with Tampa. And he was like, Toronto, whatever it is. You know what? I'll buy it to a certain extent because I think if you've ever seen Rod shake hands on a handshake line, he does linger a little bit. It's kind of like when you go on that early date on and you kind of like touch hands and you're kind of like, I'm not sure I want to let you go because I'm not sure I want to say goodbye because I don't know what your intentions are. Should I stay? Should I invite you in for the drink?
Mm-hmm.
That's Rod.
Yeah.
Rod is a charmer. He works out for a reason.
Wonder if he's a hugger.
You know he's a hugger.
He's got to be a hugger.
Rod's got to be a hugger. Underneath all that bravado. All right, we got any more, Victoria?
Yes, we
Okay.
do. So we've got one from Robert.
Okay.
He wants to know, kind of along the free agent line, there
Okay.
are some players we know who are free agents. So who might resign that would be a surprise, and who might we trade that would also be a surprise?
No, I don't like talking about trades. I'm not a trade guy because I'm not sure what one general manager values and one doesn't. And with dozens of general managers trying to figure out what they want and what they don't want, I'm not sure I could go down the trade route. Now, having said that, in Dallas, Jamie Benn is playing into a Jordan Staal contract. Jamie Benn, we've seen his decline. He is the captain there. He wants to be there forever. So it looks like Dallas probably would get a little hometown discount with Jamie Benn. I don't see that being a problem. I think, though, but you're looking for kind of puck movers, and you're going to have to probably go into restricted free agency for some of that, and that's not kind of the game I think the NHL really plays very well. So you go with the tried and trues. I hate saying the tried and trues, but it's where it is, and I'm rolling through my list, and we're looking at guys like Brock Besser. Again, right-handed shot, right-handed kind of guy. I think you have to take the swing at Mitch Marner. I think you also have to take the swing for John Tavares when you talk about a center, and you talk about a guy who's still playing at a high level, and John Tavares is that kind of guy. Is he going to be there in 3 or 4 years? Probably not. But now you're talking about windows of opportunity. And it's really going to be the big question mark for Eric Tolsky and Rod Brindamore and the Brain Trust to figure out if they are in that window and they feel that way. They've got the help that's here, but we'll see if it's the help that's needed to win a Stanley Cup.
Making more sports sense than social media trolls. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. It's Friday, right? Major League Baseball and FanDuel. Oh, what a couple. And it's first inning Friday on FanDuel. So make a bet about the first inning. No runs, yes runs, first inning bets. Mets are hosting the Rockies. The Rockies are so bad. There will be runs in the first inning. Bank on it. Francisco Lindor probably hit a home run. Every first inning Friday, you can even expect a special reward, a profit boost, a no-sweat bet, or more. Come back every week and check it out. FanDuel.com/AdamGold. That's FanDuel.com/AdamGold. Make every moment more with FanDuel. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
We have to talk to the Atlantic Coast Conference. Why in the world are State and Carolina not playing 2 college basketball games this season? For the first time in over a century, Carolina won't host State and men's basketball. What do you think your media partners want? More or less rivalries? We know the answer.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
It's bow time. Yep, it's eating time again. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, it's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned Cajun fried whole breast tenderloin fillets. Choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's bow time.
Rick Springfield's I Want My 80s Tour. Starring Rick Springfield, John Wayne, Wang Chung, Sean Cafferty. June 4th at Red Hat Amphitheater, Raleigh. Tickets on sale now at livenation.com. I Want My 80s Tour, brought to you by Beach Bar Rum, presented by Live Nation.
At the V Foundation, V is for victory over cancer. V is for victory over giving up.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Join our team in the fight against cancer at V.org.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to Bundle Deal Days at AutoZone.
Well, I do need a bundle of things.
When you bundle, you save.
Do I save if I bundle oil with an oil filter?
Save up to $12 on that bundle.
What about brake pads and rotors?
Bundle those and the brake pads are free.
Can't save more than free.
You can save on hundreds of deals during Bundle Deal Days. Ends June 2nd at AutoZone.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply. Duralast brake pads only.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm, Injury Lawyers. Ritchie Law is on top of it. Go to ritchielaw.com.
Get in the hole!
That's ritchielaw.com.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
13.7 to go. Into DeLon Wright. All he has to do is get it across half court. 111.94. The Knicks stay alive. It's a 3-2 series in favor of Indiana. Heading back to the Circle City for Game 6 on Saturday night. Final horn sounds. New York 111, Indiana 94.
Adam Gold Show on this final Friday of May. Congratulations, you made it. Paul Eihander sitting in for Adam today. Adam is at Canes move-out day today, and we will hear from a lot of those Carolina Hurricanes, including one of them, here in just mere moments. Appreciate Adam letting me sit in. For those of you who are not acquainted with me, I have sat in for Adam a few times, but it's so infrequent these days. I'm thrilled to get the invite back. Victoria is here as always.
Always good to have you.
Thank you.
Especially on this May Friday.
Friday, yeah. I host mornings at 99.9 The Fan in Raleigh. Have a show called Next Up. Appreciate all of you who are familiar with that program, and I love doing it. I love doing the sports thing. I love chatting with all of you. Love sharing some opinions, giving you some insights, and just entertaining the hell out of you.
How you feeling? I know you had an early morning, like you just mentioned. So.
Oh, my goodness. Coaching last night, having an early morning today.
Yeah.
Dealing with just kind of the overall vibes of the world. I'm okay. My feet hurt, though. I was just telling someone as I exited in the hallway during the break, I'm like, don't get old. My feet hurt. I think I need to go work out with you, Victoria.
Yeah.
Kind of stretch out a little bit, kind of work out some of the places where I have deficiencies.
Telling you, I'm feeling it today. I would not recommend working out when you're tired.
Well, okay. Okay. Thanks, Victoria, for that health tip.
Even take
health
my own
tips
advice.
with Victoria on Fridays. Don't work out when you're tired. Thanks.
Yeah, so about that. Yeah, but it's fine.
Can you lift your arms like above your shoulders at least?
I can at least do that.
Okay,
It's just,
well done.
Yeah, I'm glad I don't
Victory.
have to sneeze because I'm like
Victory formation.
My ribs are sore. I don't know why my ribs.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that's my heels right now. We had a doubleheader yesterday.
Oh.
And so, crazy.
I'm glad
crazy.
the weather participated though.
In between showers, which is what. And I've kind of struggled with this during this program because I know a lot of people who listen to the Adam Gold Show consume it live, and they also consume it at different times. So the one thing that I mentioned at the top of the last hour, for those of you who are joining us here midstream, I talked about the fact that throughout North Carolina there are there are baseball, softball, and lacrosse championships all weekend long, and people are traveling and moving around. But they're also probably wondering about their favorite teams as the College World Series gets underway. And there's a lot of action around North Carolina. Wake is going to play Cincinnati. That's supposed to be a first pitch fairly soon here. NC State's playing today. Duke playing Friday night, later tonight. But there are two games underway. And again, I'm struggling with the fact that should I be giving you live score updates or should I not? But I know some of you listen in real time. So here it is. UNC, who is one of the top favorites to actually make the College World Series in Omaha this year. They are hosting one of the regionals in Chapel Hill. They have just scored. It was 0-0 with Holy Cross. They're in the bottom of the fourth. It is 1-0 Carolina. So the Diamond Heels are up 1-0. There is something happening down in Conway, South Carolina, in the Coastal Carolina region, where ECU is playing. And I know we are live in Greenville, and we're live across the state. Greenville. ECU is leading Florida right now, 4-0. Florida has yet to get a hit in the baseball game.
Oh, wow.
And they have already had a pitching change.
Yikes.
So
it's like the Dallas Stars last night.
Dallas, that is interesting. Boy, that is a quick, hard switch of gears here. Pete DeBoer, and we were asked during our one-timer segment about possible trades and movement and whatnot, and I talked about addressing goalies. Pete DeBoer, as Victoria is alluding to, pulled his starting goalie, Jake Ottinger, after he gave up his second goal against Edmonton. Edmonton went on to win the game 6-3. And in the postgame, Pete DeBoer, who is a very good head coach, there's no doubt about it, he's just chasing the cup like a lot of coaches are, talked about how Ottinger had never beaten Edmonton. He goes, I pulled him, he just doesn't have success against Edmonton. And I'm like, well, that's a hell of a thing to say.
Right.
And first of all, course correcting, again, pulling your goalie after just 2 goals. Like, is he not seeing it? Does he just not have the vibe or whatever it is? DeSmith ended up giving up 3 anyway.
Yeah.
But, Edmonton was destined this year. Again, on the revenge tour, I think, for them to get back to the cup and hoist the cup as opposed to just watch another team do it again.
Yeah.
They
were geared up for it.
Full course correct. And so this is what we have seen now in the East Carolina-Florida game. Again, that's the regional down in Conway. Wake getting ready to get underway. NC State also playing today, playing Stetson. And Duke playing tonight. So good luck to you. Good luck to all the high schools. Again, all the kids and the parents traveling today and packing lunches and whatnot. Today, though, as we talk about traveling, as we roll it back here, a little Take 2 action. We heard from Jordan Staal already, the captain. Now it's time to hear from the guy that is known as Fishy. He led the team in points this season, as you would expect. Here's the sit-down, Adam Gold again, with Sebastian Aho.
I know it was a disappointing end.
Yeah.
But walk me through. There's a lot of good things about this season. Obviously, getting to where you got. I mean, there's a lot of teams that would like to have been playing in the Final Four Nations. Yeah. Everything you went through personally. How do you look back on this year?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff happened. Obviously, a lot of hockey. Obviously played till the conference finals and played 4 nations. And I don't know how many regular season games I played.
A lot.
So, yeah, I mean.
Most of them.
Yeah, and then, so a lot happened, obviously. It was, but it's good. Like I said there before, that it's a privilege to be able to play a lot of hockey, and you want to play these games. I don't even know how to wrap this year. Obviously, it's a disappointment not be able to make the push for a next step, but there's a lot of good things too. We played some good hockey. We had some, obviously we beat 2 really good teams too, and Florida obviously got a better from us, but you gotta keep trying and keep pushing, and hopefully we'll get there.
What was the difference between this series with Florida and the last time? You didn't win any last time, but those games could have gone either way. What was the difference between this year and 2 years ago?
Obviously, going down 3 is not probably the best way to try to win the series, right? So, I mean, game 1, score was bad, but there was a lot, it wasn't that bad of a game. I mean, the score was obviously brutal, and it doesn't matter how you end up winning or losing. You either win or lose, right? So, but then the game 2 was obviously probably the worst game of the series, and that obviously hurt us big time. To you'd like to see better bounce back after game 1 and try to win that, and then you go there 1-1 situation and whatever. But I don't want to sit here and try to they were better. And they beat us in 5, so better team went advanced. And I do believe in 7-game series, like better team always wins. And but yeah, we'll at the end, like that was we compete. The effort that we put in last 2 games, I thought we played really good hockey, and we showed everyone for sure to ourselves that when we play like that, we can beat any team any given day. So kind of try to take those moments with us and you have them keep moving forward.
By the way, I think it's more than acceptable to really think that Game 3 was there too, right? It's 1-1. You guys, the second period of Game 3 was, to that point, by far your best period of the playoffs. Maybe could have been ahead. And then that it unraveled is unfortunate, but there were chances there. Everybody had to deal with the episode where we had Mikko Rantanen here. You had to deal with it probably on levels that they didn't. How did you get through it? What was it like as you were going through it?
Yeah, it was stressful. It was tiring. Obviously, I was, for sure affected me and Mikko's play too in a way that there's so much uncertainty, and it's easy to say, okay, you don't think about this stuff, but it's a big deal, it's big deal for him, big deal for myself, like organization, fans, everything. It wasn't the easiest situation, obviously, for us, and obviously I was I was with him. I was like really, we talk about it so much, and we, went over certain stuff, and obviously the stuff that it's gonna it's gonna stay between us, but. It was quite a kind of stressful and tiring month, at least.
Yeah, I likened it to there's a new girl in school and everybody wants to make a great impression. You want to impress the new girl. Like fans, everybody wanted it to work so badly. Did you fall into that too, knowing how good he is and what he could bring to this team? Did you want it to work so badly that?
Of course, I wanted to, type of player he is, caliber player he is, good friend of mine,
right.
So obviously you try to do whatever. We talk about it too with him, because I feel like even you don't think about it on the ice, but maybe you look back at the tape after the game and you're like okay, I shouldn't even try to force that pass,
Right. Yeah.
So maybe
I agree.
So it does affect in a way that you have to just play the game and let things happen instead of forcing plays and try to find your guy, but yeah, I guess that's another learning curve for myself and probably a lot of people who was involved with the situation. How we it was a new situation. There's a weird situation and
totally
hard for many.
I felt bad for you. I really did.
Don't feel bad for me. That's but thanks anyways. It's that stuff obviously doesn't happen that often, and it's certainly first for us. And that's some of the stuff that you learn from as well, to kind of how you handle in these situations if it ever would happen again.
All right, let me ask you one more question. The Players Tribune piece that came out basically about the time where this was all getting crazy, right?
Right.
I'm just curious. Hey, what's going on, Spitz? He's unbelievable. Did you write that?
No, not physically. No,
right.
It was a long interview.
Okay.
And then how they do it is based off the interview.
Right.
He makes a story, right?
Mm-hmm.
So no, I did not.
But it was your thoughts. And I thought it came out at the perfect time because it was at the end of that Mikko's saga. And I thought it spoke to how you feel about the organization, about the head coach, and about the way the team plays. And I could tell just talking to you how that matters to you.
Yeah, it does. I mean, obviously, got drafted here 10 years ago already, which is crazy. And
it is crazy.
I mean, stayed here for all my career, and obviously Raleigh's home now, and yeah, so stuff. Yeah, I mean, I love the organization, love the city, love the boys in the room. You know, it's obviously a special place for me, and obviously just trying to bring the, win the cup for the city and for the organization, and that's like the end goal. And yeah, I've been loving it since day one.
All right, so let's all take a deep breath from that one, okay? First, props to Adam Gold for asking some tough questions to Sebastian Aho, and then a bow to Sebastian Aho for answering the questions.
Yeah.
Victoria, you and I were kind of chatting up while we were listening to that, and it was very clear that Aho was and might still be affected by what took place over those 4 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Where they had the Four Nations break, obviously, but it really bothered him.
That felt really heavy. It was a struggle for him to get through those. So that meant a lot.
Stressful and tiring. Those were the two things, and then he just had to close it at some point. At some point, you just run out of words. Mm-hmm. I think in conversation, when you're answering tough questions, you run out of words, and tough was the word that he used. So again, well done, Adam Gold, who is at Canes camp-out day or checkout day, and we will have more. We still have some combos for you throughout the show to play. You're going to stick around for Jalen Chatfield as well as Jaccob Slavin. Those will be rolling as well. Up next, though, we're going to have a conversation about college athletics. A lot of things being proposed in terms of changes. Plus, there's one guy not in the game, and it's a big miss. It's next up on The Adam Gold Show.
Talking sports so you don't have to pretend to know stuff. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
We have to talk to the Atlantic Coast Conference. Why in the world are State and Carolina not playing 2 college basketball games this season? For the first time in over a century, Carolina won't host State and men's basketball. What do you think your media partners want? More or less rivalries? We know the answer.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
Support for The Fan comes from Paramount Pictures presenting Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning.
Smart people on every side are close to panicking.
Every choice, every mission has led to this. Tom Cruise is back as Ethan Hunt in his most challenging mission yet.
I need you to trust me one last time.
Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. See the movie audiences are raving about in theaters and IMAX now. Don't miss your chance to see the movie of the summer.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
Westwood One Sports presents this special tennis update. There are only 5 Americans left to the men's singles in Paris. NCAA champ Ethan Quinn won yesterday, has his 3rd round match tomorrow. Tommy Paul is into the 4th round after a 2nd consecutive 5-set triumph. He beat the Russian Karen Khachanov 6-3, 3-6, 7-6, 3-6, 6-3. Ben Shelton playing now leads the Italian Matteo Gigante 6-3, 5-3. And Americans will win and lose in the match just underway. It's Francis Tiafoe and Sebastian Sebastian Corda. A third-round victory for New Jersey native Amanda Anisimova. She was a French Open semifinalist as an 18-year-old 6 years ago. She has struggled recently. 2 years ago, she took a break from tennis, citing burnout. Sunday, Anisimova will take on top-seeded Aryna Sabalenka. So far, she's won all 6 sets, never losing more than 3 games in any set. With this tennis update, John Stash Hour, Westwood One Sports.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues? Who are you? Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
The DQ Sauced and Tossed Chicken Strip Baskets have more flavor than your taste buds know what to do with. We start with all white meat, breaded, seasoned, and fried to crunchy perfection. Next, we double down and toss them in honey barbecue or new buffalo sauce. Serve them up with DQ fries, Texas toast, and house-made Hidden Valley Ranch, and you've got flavor on flavor on flavor. Get the Sauced and Tossed Chicken Strip Basket in honey barbecue or new buffalo right now at DQ. Happy tastes good. Participation may vary.
Progressive knows when you're on your boat, you're already on vacation. And Vacation You forgets all your worries. Vacation You doesn't even keep track of time and knows that time is a meaningless construct designed to control us, man. But Regular You knows you don't want to be too far out in the water after the sun goes down because Vacation You doesn't know how to navigate in the dark yet. Vacation You and Regular You really need to get on the same page. So bundle your boat with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
This is Adam Gold.
He doesn't have many years to choose from.
No, and part of that was COVID. Nobody's picking COVID.
COVID was a great year.
Yeah.
Look, if you invested in Zoom,
oh, that was a good year.
You had a good year during COVID.
Yep.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's gonna still be May.
Almost done.
Ain't no lie. Bye, bye, bye. This is that one where they do the puppets in the video, right?
Yes.
I think that's what it is.
They do the whole hand thing where it's like, is this Michael Jackson Thriller or is it? No, it's NSYNC. Okay. Yeah.
That's Victoria. As always, the rock of the Adam Gold Show. Adam is at Canes checkout day today. Paul Eihander in for Adam Gold, and appreciate that. Again, we have more conversations with Canes as we're going to hockey you out today. You will get your fill for sure. Again, if you missed any portion of this, you can run it back on our YouTube channel, the YouTube Adam Gold YouTube channel. Just search it out, Adam Gold Show on YouTube. The conversation that you had with Sebastian Aho, we will replay that, by the way, towards the end of the program. It's really, really good.
Yeah.
Like you can tell. Boy, and the only thing Adam didn't ask him about being a new dad.
I know.
And I know that's tough. When you're a first-time father, and I've had the blessing of having it twice in my life, that can be challenging because you figure out brand new routines. It is the expected and unexpected all at the same time. The riddle wrapped up in the enigma more than anything else, and that's always certainly going to be a challenge. So it was a very eventful year for Sebastian Aho. We have a conversation with Jaylen Chatfield coming up here in roughly 10 minutes, which will be great. Also, Jaccob Slavin and Logan Stankoven as well. I've had a chance to spend some time with Logan Stankoven away from microphones. He is youthful. He is everything that you see on the ice is him.
Yeah.
And it's tough to not you just have to like the guy.
Yeah.
It's double negatives, right? There's nothing not to like about Logan Stankoven.
Right.
You know?
Whether he's shorter or not, because everyone wants to point that out. But he's fast, and he plays Canes hockey.
He does play Canes hockey for sure. Let's dig in a little bit here. There's a college athletics conversation I think we all need to have right now. And I think it couldn't come at the benefit. And I'm speaking directly, and I think I'm speaking directly to business people, especially in the Charlotte and the Triangle areas. The Charlotte Sports Authority, Charlotte Sports Commission, and the Raleigh Sports Authority. There is a movement underway, and this came out yesterday at the Big 12 meetings. The NCAA president, Charlie Baker, came out and said there are active talks underway to expand March Madness. They want to take it right now, which is currently 68 teams on the men's and women's side, and move it out 4 more, and perhaps even 4 more after that. So roughly 320, 330 Division I basketball teams are eligible to play in the postseason for March Madness, what we all collectively know and put our arms around as March Madness. And we had a regional in Raleigh, and there'll be regionals in Charlotte coming soon. They want to take the field of 68, and there are active negotiations underway with CBS and Turner Sports with the NCAA, which still wields a little bit of power these days, to expand the field and to see what the interest is in that financially. Now, Front Office Sports put it out there that they talked to some media execs saying it might not be worth too much money to add 4 more teams or whatever it is. And I've been on the record saying I'm okay with the expansion. I'm okay. If you want to invite more teams and more players to the dance who get a unique opportunity to play in a postseason when they were little boys and little girls dreaming of, and they're in their backyards playing basketball. And there's actually a couple commercials out there about a kid playing basketball and his dog is barking at them. And the dog is like, hey, it's always good to have someone in your corner. The dog's just barking because the kid's shooting J's and he's going between the legs and hesitating dribbles and whatnot. Because, everybody wants to have the killer crossover, right? I'm all about that. Fulfill some more dreams. It's only 4 more spots. There's a certain point where there'll be too many. 68, probably not enough, because every year we always talk about the first 4 out. And in this year, the first 4 out involved 1 Big 12 team, 2 Big 10 teams, and a Mountain West team, which meant we had a little bit of spread. Now, one of those teams happened to be West Virginia, whose attorney general was going to sue the NCAA for keeping them out because of net rating. Now, I'm sure the NCAA doesn't want any more lawsuits to deal with. They're still dealing with the paying players lawsuit, which is going to get through. It doesn't feel like there's much resistance in that aspect of things. I'm all for more teams. Front Office Sports got some calls, though, saying the media rights really aren't worth very much. I'm like, we're adding a few more games, but ultimately a rerun of The Rookie or another Shawshank Redemption show will still pay the bills at this point. So are we going to get more eyeballs on and I don't like picking on teams, but these are rabbits out of the hat. Murray State Racers versus Utah State. Okay, are you going to get a lot of people watching college basketball outside of us degenerates who are betting? I mean, probably not. But, and again, I roll right back around. 3 minutes ago, I said, Charlotte Sports Commission, Raleigh Sports Authority, you guys should be on the phone right now with the NCAA saying, we would love to host those because Dayton doesn't need all those extra games. If we are going to have extra games, we would love for you to bring those to us. And we have proven that we are very good hosts here in North Carolina. We will tailgate here in Raleigh, and in Charlotte, we will roll out our finest meats and cheeses.
We'll make T-shirts. It'll be great.
It would be fantastic.
Cornhole boards everywhere.
So I will start the petition. Is it petition.org? I think that's what it is. Petition. I'm like overthinking this greatly. I would be in the ear right now of the NCAA. Charlie Baker. Hello. Speed dial. Hi, this is Paul from the Charlotte Sports Authority, Charlotte Sports Commission. Yes, we would love to host the extra 4 games that you plan on adding to what they hope to add to this year's tournament. Why should Dayton have all the glory? And I'm thinking just revenue. I'm thinking about having some extra college hoops because what state? Name me another one who could handle men's basketball better, handle women's basketball better than North Carolina. I'll wait. And you're going to say, well, Connecticut would be better. Have you tried flying into Connecticut? Have you tried going to Hartford? I've driven through Hartford. Not a lot to do.
Not recommended.
Well, there's this thing in Hartford called the steamed cheeseburger. That's not a nasty thing.
Yeah.
It's an actual food.
It's not a happy hour beverage either.
Stop. Victoria, you're going to take us down a road I didn't want to go down. I tried to head it off at the pass, and what'd you do? What'd you do on the Friday?
It's a Friday.
What'd you do? I'm just saying, if there's a state that's more well-equipped, that has airports that can handle it, that has accommodations and fun crap to do, it would be right here in North Carolina, and I'm all for it. So if you want to add extra games, Charlie Baker, and again, I'm up for expansion. I'm all about fulfilling dreams. Bring it here. The business ramifications would be fantastic. Someone out there has to know somebody. Okay. Let's continue. Adam Gold Show here. Paul Eihander in for Adam Gold. Victoria is here as well. This is kind of a minor thing, to be honest, but in the SEC, I don't think it matters too much. The SEC has raised its field and court storming fines to $500,000. So if Auburn beats Texas and they storm the field and they go War Eagle all over the place, blah, War Eagle, $500,000. If they do it in basketball, it's the same price, $500,000. Now, Greg Sankey, the Lord Almighty of the SEC, has suggested that he could roll back the fines if the visiting team and the officials and others have cleared the court. So he has cracked the door slightly open for kids to court storm. Now, will that change things? Here's what used to happen in the SEC. $100,000 for the first one, $250K for the second one, and $500 for the third. So now you only got one violation. So here's the deal, SEC, or you know what? You want to hose them good? I mean, you really want to hose them good? ACC fans, we pay for that storming. Uh-oh. We pay for the field storm. Nope, run out in the field. Go. $50 a head. Cash up front.
Right? There's a keg in the back.
Do you know how many people would go for that? $500,000?
So many.
You want to bankrupt some SEC teams right away?
I know.
I'm sorry. I see through this right away.
Yeah. You don't even need a GoFundMe.
I'm shocked that this doesn't happen.
I know.
I really am. I'm like, I can't be the first guy that thought of this.
No.
But now that the first offense is $500K, ACC, gonna pay a little bit of money.
We got Belichick now.
I volunteer in tribute.
There you go.
All right. Speaking of Bill Belichick, Carolina has missed out on a grand opportunity that I think they can correct because of how the world works these days. When you used to have to buy video games, you had to buy a cartridge, right? You had to buy a CD. Slid that thing in. As a matter of fact, you still can. You can still buy cartridges and CDs. But we live in a digital age now. And in a digital age, you can update things kind of on the fly. We have gotten a first look, or some media. Unfortunately, they did not invite me, although I did work at EA at one time in my life. Come on, guys. Invite. Hello.
Perfect.
There are some people, some influencers, who have gotten their hands on the brand new College Football 26 game, which is coming out. And there's lots of new additions, things that fans wanted. There's even more bands now. Apparently, they got the rights to Metallica, Enter Sandman, from when they played at Virginia Tech.
Who I'm going to see tomorrow.
You're going, aren't you, to Charlotte?
I am.
Damn it.
I am.
I really want to go, and I was so afraid. I was so afraid of the weather.
Oh,
and so,
yeah,
and
I know.
my kid plays guitar, and he's like, that's one of his favorite bands.
Oh, I'll sneak you in a backpack.
I know.
No one will know.
I'm just like, it's one, like, my son is at 11, he is an amazing kid, and he likes classic rock and metal.
Well, that's a great band.
And so,
love.
Like, he has band T-shirts, and I'm like, are you sure, buddy? You can do a little Pantera shout-out for me? Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Love it.
Anyway, in the upcoming College Football 26 game, a lot of enhancements, which also includes real coaches. It used to involve coaches that were Gennaro that ran out. You know, here comes generic white guy with beard. Here comes generic black guy with bald head. Here comes generic whatever. They were just generic coaches. Well, now they're all in the game. Marcus Freeman's in the game at Notre Dame. Ryan Day's in the game at Ohio State. Dan Landing's in the game as well. Kirby Smart. I mean, they may look like big fat polygons as they run on the field, but they're going to run on the field as themselves. The one guy not in the game, and there are a few others, the one guy not in the game, and it's a big miss, Carolina's Bill Belichick. And, Coach, I appeal to you directly. This game generated $400 million in revenue. 100 million unique users. And I'm looking straight at the camera, and those of you who are not paying attention on YouTube, who are listening to me, just pretend I am peering into your soul, and you are Bill Belichick. I am asking you that what would make your players more excited? To see Gennaro white dude run them out of the tunnel when they play the football game? To see your recruits see Gennaro white dude come running out of the tunnel? Or, and maybe I should be talking to Jordan directly. Jordan, what a better way to get your man out in front of people and to spread his brand than to place him in one of the top 3 video games of the year.
More Instagram opportunities, too.
They have postponed Grand Theft Auto 6 to next year. I'm not saying Bill Belichick should be in Grand Theft Auto 6, but I'm saying what a monster missed opportunity to make sure that you had hired Carolina, Bubba Cunningham, hello, you had hired the guy to be the face of your program. And that face isn't in the game. That is a huge miss. Kids at 12, kids at 8 are playing online and talking trash to me on this game.
Right.
They are smoking me with like Nevada.
Exactly.
and it's 70-7.
Wow.
And even that coach is going to run his team out. And you aren't in that game. That is a huge miss, coach. That is a huge miss.
Big time.
You can still get in, though. They can download you, polygon your face, and make that happen. They can make that happen. All right, Adam Gold Show here. Paul Hinder in for Adam Gold. I appreciate you indulging me there. Victoria is here as well. It is Canes checkout day. As I mentioned, Adam Gold has been there all day. Dennis Cox has been there as well. Also a Canes host from time to time on the Hurricanes radio network. He had a nice chat with Chatty himself, Jaylen Chatfield.
How are you feeling? A lot of people wondering, because you did take some warm-ups and we're practicing a little bit. How close were you?
No, I said super close. It was a weird injury, dealing with, that type, especially involving skating and the strain you put on it and, not being able to push off and having the power that you usually have. And the pain was one thing, which anybody can, you get that adrenaline going and you push through. Even when I got my little ovation in warm-ups, I tried to take a couple hard strides and my leg just kind of gave out and I had no pop. And I honestly would have kind of been I would have been a liability out there. I don't even think I would have been able to finish the game. But I was doing all the right things. I was rehabbing every day. I was, I exhausted all resources to try to put myself in the best position to come back as early as possible. And I was tipping on the top of the mountain to get there, and I was super close. I was in the game, honestly, I think.
I know a lot of people don't realize this, but as an athlete, when you can't go, you don't feel like that feeling of you can't help your team out there on the ice. I don't think a lot of people realize how difficult that is.
Yeah, for me, it's just controlling what you can control. When I first got hurt, I was trying to play Thursday, Game 5 against Washington. And that's how bad I want to be on ice with the guys. It just wasn't realistic. And some injuries you can push through, some you can't. And, for me, not being able to play, I had to find a new way to try to support the guys. And, first step was, doing everything I can to get back healthy, not taking it lightly, not taking many days off, doing as much treatment, much rehab, and then also just being positive and, talking to the guys and trying to lift them up when I can and just being around the guys as much as I can and just be a resource. If I see anything from up top, talk to guys and just continue to try to, motivate them and give them confidence.
And Jaylen Chatfield joining us, you're talking about other ways that you can help. Is it just doing things like film study with guys and pointing things out, maybe stuff that you see up top?
Yeah, it's anything. Just being in the lounge in Florida, I remember I was talking to Stank and I was just, pumping his tires up for a real reason, though. He's playing unreal and just telling him to keep going and let's go. Let's win one game at a time. And just that was the mindset if I seen anybody. Honestly, that opportunity they had out there was it's not that they would ever take it for granted, but when you watch it from up top, it's like that feeling you want to get to play out there. It was hard watching, so I knew the moment they had and, I wanted them to all just, to go out there and represent our team.
So you and I talked last year when you signed your contract extension with the team about how it's something that you had to grind and earn. And now this season, it felt like you showed the value that you were rewarded with that contract, but also you showed it with your play that, hey, you know what, I was worthy of it as well. How do you evaluate this season for you, again, with that contract extension that you got, not only you being rewarded, but rewarding the people that gave that to you?
Yeah, honestly, when I think about even personal performance or how I played, it's just to me, I just want to check the boxes off. Did I come every day and give it my all? And I think that's what's most important. Just not leaving anything in the tank. And I think this year that's what I did. I mean, every year I play. I try to go out there every day. Some days it's hard, it's a long season, but just if I can do everything right, and if I don't play a good game, I heard Tom Brady say that as long as you said you prepared, you did everything that you usually do, your routine, you're not going to have good games every night. And I think throughout the whole year I was locked in, I was focused, and that wasn't just for me, it was for the team, because I didn't want to cheat my guys at all, or the coaching staff or this organization, like you said, for believing in me right from the start when I first came here to, get me caught up, and then my first year, give me the opportunity out of camp to come here and play on a good team. And, for me, from the coaches and everybody, the teammates, just every day, just trying to get better, staying on the ice late, getting in the gym, and just trying to perform at the highest level I can.
How important is that for you guys to have, as a team, a group of guys that everyone is doing the right thing, whether it's preparation? You might not have the best game, but you're preparing the right way, you're honest with your work. How vital is that for the locker room to keep getting these deep postseason runs?
It's huge. I think it's a culture that's built here when you talk about that stuff. You walk into some locker rooms around the league, I guarantee it is different, but when you come here, it's work. It's 1% better. It's doing it for the guy next to you. It's so many things. The C5, you got to live it here. And, we're pushing. I think, for me, it's only been 3 years. For other guys, it's been longer. And I think it's just going to make the story better when we can accomplish the goal. And, it's going to start right now in the offseason. Each guy, I remember Kobe, they asked him what he was going to do. He said, push yourself to exhaustion. So that's my goal. I know it's going to be every other guy's. Is we keep getting that taste, and it's right there. And I know it's a long ways away, and next year, and it's day by day. And Jordan was talking about earlier, just kind of taking that mental break. But it's also getting ready and geared up for next year.
All right, final thing. What's the next step for you? Obviously, healing up being number one priority. But what's the next step for you in your game?
I got to get better. I can get better. We all can. I'm not going to sit here and say, do this, this, and that. I think it's going to go back, watch some video, come up with a game plan this summer. I'm getting stronger, rehabbing my hip, figured out some stuff that I could do to kind of avoid this, getting my body right. And because I got to avoid that injury. It wasn't a traumatic. It was just skating, and, your mechanics might be off this point of the year, but I can't let that happen again. So I was pretty mad about that. So just getting in the gym, getting on the ice, working at my game, and coming back even better.
Jaylen Chatfield, year one, that contract extension. Good talk there with Dennis Cox, and more Canes checkout on the way for you throughout the afternoon and into the night, depending on when you're listening to us here on the Adam Gold Show. Coming up next, we dig into the mind of Victoria as we take a stretch here on the Adam Gold Show.
Chapel Hill to Charlotte, Greenville to Greensboro. Your sports, his state. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, it's Adam Gold from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, and we're always trying to spice it up. It is a First Inning Friday. This is new. This is great. FanDuel hooking all customers up with a special offer you can use on early game MLB action. Put your baseball knowledge to the test. First swing, how about no runs? How about yes runs? First inning bets, will anybody score in the first frame? Check each team's season stats right on the FanDuel app and make the call.
Every first inning Friday, you can even expect a special reward, a profit boost, a no-sweat bet, or more. So make sure, come back every week and check it out. FanDuel.com/AGS. FanDuel.com/AGS. For America's #1 sportsbook. Make every moment more. 21 and over and present in North Carolina. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
The Body Armor State Games are coming to Greensboro this June. Registration is open to athletes of all ages and skill levels in 20 different sports. The Body Armor State Games feature 11,000 athletes and 600 teams. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Visit bodyarmorstategames.org today. That's bodyarmorstategames.org. The Body Armor State Games are proud to partner with Truist, Lowe's Foods, and Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end.
The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Bluebell Groom's Cake Ice Cream is renewing its vows on the frozen aisle. Milk chocolate ice cream with chocolate cake pieces, chocolate-coated strawberry hearts, swirls of strawberry sauce, and chocolate icing. See you at the reception.
The good old days are being made right now.
The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at your local grocer and pick up your favorite flavor today.
Have you ever heard of paramedics who don't just respond to emergencies, but work to prevent them? The North Carolina Healthcare Association invites you to listen to this month's podcast, Conversations on the State of Healthcare. Cape Fear Valley Health's Community Paramedic Program is a groundbreaking initiative where paramedics aren't just transporting patients, they're building bridges to better care, right from the patient's living room. Here's Cape Fear's Alinda Bailey.
We're not just asking, what's your medical emergency? We're asking, do you have problems obtaining your medicines? Can you get to your appointments? Are you safe? Are you supported? We try to identify not only the medical needs, the mental health needs, but also the social determinants that play a factor in the care of our patients and clients.
Join our latest Conversations on the State of Healthcare wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. And learn more by visiting nchealthcare.org.
Are you struggling with your Medicare drug costs? The NC Department of Insurance SHIP program may be able to help. The Extra Help and Medicare savings programs are available for those who qualify, but you have to apply. Contact SHIP today to see if you qualify. Visit ncship.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212. SHIP provides free, unbiased help in all 100 counties.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
One Adam. Gold. One Adam. Gold.
If Andrei Svechnikov watched Eric Cole highlight tapes and caused chaos.
Hey, hashtag, you didn't even mean to do that, did you?
I didn't. Well, that's the old one.
I know, but
right?
It's still relevant.
Now we're raising up. Maybe we should go back to cause chaos.
I know, we need to go back to causing chaos.
This is interesting. I did kind of subconsciously bring that out.
The Adam Gold Show.
Yeah. Just growl for a little bit, right?
I know. This is the longest intro, too, so you have time.
It is. That's the truth. It is. Adam Gold Show. Paul Lyhander in for Adam Gold today. Appreciate that as always. Victoria is here, making things sound nice on the other side of the glass. By the way, for those of you watching on our YouTube live stream right now, and we do appreciate all of you, and I appreciate all of you, because if you've had to stare at this all day, you've now had to endure what my wife has had to deal with for the last couple decades. I have been holding on to a red Solo cup. I have been known to drink out of many of these.
Oh.
I wish it were a little more adventurous today. But because I have done so much talking today, it is unfortunately only lemon water.
Not the typical red Solo cup beverage that's in those cups.
I have had more than my share of jungle juice.
Oh.
I'm just saying, I've enjoyed many a backyard and many a pavement pop-up.
Yep. A lot of nights you've forgotten.
New Orleans street corner. We won't have to tell that story. Victoria, it's time to stretch.
Now I know what my bump song's going to be in the next hour.
Stop it. You are going down a road that I don't want to take you down, but you're there already.
Oh, man. Well, this is the road we started yesterday. So yesterday you shared this amazing story about a 14-year-old 8th grader who was trying to win the Scripps National Spelling Bee last night.
Right.
And she was also sponsored by the Panthers.
Yes,
the
she
Carolina Panthers.
How'd that
my
go
Panthers. It went just like their season has been going. But hopefully not next season.
Okay.
So yeah, she was not successful. However, there was an article that came out about the most misspelled words in America.
Oh, goodness. Misspelled probably was one of them.
Because, yes, surprisingly, it wasn't, but I feel like autocorrect has helped a lot of people.
Okay, so are we doing a thing here? Are you really going to make me spell, or are you just going to give the words out?
Well, we could go about this a couple different ways.
All right.
Because this website, Word Unscrambler, they looked at the interwebs, the search data, to see the words that Americans had the most issues with. And typically it would be followed with phrases like, how do you spell ... And so that's how they came up with this list of the 10 most misspelled words in America. And I feel like I should make you at least spell one.
I'll try
but
one.
But the top one was restaurant.
No, RESTAURANT. Restaurant.
Yes, exactly.
Well, you don't get the bell if you get it right.
Yeah. Oh. Okay. You got it correct.
Right.
You're
okay.
good.
Restaurant.
Let's see. These don't seem very difficult because 9 was favorite.
Well, if you spell it the other way, Canadian way, they add the U.
That's
so
true.
FAVORITE.
That's true.
Or the other way, FAVOURITE.
There are words that have that sneaky little silent or extra letter.
True.
It's facts. But the number one misspelled word, definitely.
DEFINITELY.
Yes! See, you would have won.
The one thing you don't know about me, Victoria, that I'm sharing with the full audience right now.
Are you a spelling bee winner?
8th grade spelling champion.
We are in the midst of greatness.
However, my sister Amy, who has a master's degree, and in 5th grade, we had the middle school spelling. In my middle school where I grew up, rural, we had 5th through 8th grade in middle school. As the 8th grade spelling champion, we had to defend said championship against the other grade spelling champions, which included my sister.
Oh, no.
And it was brought up at my wedding and at many other family occasions that she defeated me as a 5th grade spelling champion.
Of course.
FAVO. Damn it!
No, again. Oh, man, the sibling rivalry with a spelling bee.
Love you, sis.
I love that. That's adorable. I love it.
It wasn't at the time, Victoria.
I know. Especially with some red Solo Cup beverages in it, too. Like,
And
come
drink
on,
more.
sis. What are you doing? No, other words are things like separate, necessary, believe, through, gorgeous, neighbor, business. These are the top 10.
No, neighbor adds the U and some other
Exactly. That's
English-speaking
another one of those
countries.
tricky ones. But I like how this article also uses the most challenging word per state.
Oh, okay. What? Oh, please tell me North Carolina. Please. Please.
So, North Carolina.
Barbecue. It's gotta be barbecue.
I know, right? BBQ. No, no, do you want to take any guess? Is it barbecue?
I just guessed barbecue.
Okay,
Barbecue.
not quite.
Okay.
I don't understand where this one came from, but it's secret. It doesn't make...
Secret?
Yeah. That is, I guess, the most searched word.
Secret.
Is secret.
Oh,
I don't
ooh.
know. But I was looking at other states, and I thought this was really funny. So,
Okay.
Hawaii,
Okay.
luau.
Luau.
Luau is there.
Luau.
Like, you should be the one that knows how to spell luau, but
For
it's
sure.
not. And then this one, poor Nevada. I don't know if we're getting a lot of winners with the spelling bee there because their word is school.
School? Stop it. There's a K, right?
I don't know.
There's
Yes,
a K.
obviously there's a K. There's a K. And then Vermont, just for giggles, I didn't have time to look this up. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious is the word that they look up. Like,
Even though the sound
Why?
of it is something quite atrocious.
why are we trying to look this up? Yeah.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
So there you go.
There are people right now just going super.
Right, they're trying to spell it now.
Yep, I know.
know.
You started that.
I
You
did.
started that.
I did. Now that's going to be North Carolina's next word.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. Welcome to the Adam Gold Spelling Bee.
Exactly. But luckily, we have autocorrect. So you just start typing it, and maybe
There is
it'll pop
that.
up, and you don't have to worry about it. You know what else you may not have to worry about? Because we're here for you, placing good bets.
Place your bets, place your bets. Here we are. I bet you slice into the woods $100.
Gambling is illegal at Bushwood, sir, and I never slide.
Okay, you can owe me. I owe you one.
All right, so I wanted to go golf, but against my better judgment, because my golf bets have been basura
Not
in
great.
the last couple of weeks. And I did live, and I'm more of a live better now. I find myself engaging with the game since I have to watch them as part of the work. You know, I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch. And last night seemed like easy money because it was 5-3 late in that Dallas Edmonton game, and it was +2, and you could get Dallas +2.5 at like -140. So I live bet that one, hit, bingo. All right, baseball though for me. So baseball, all involving Dodgers-Yankees. Dodgers-Yankees, that's on my card today. I got 3 for you. Anytime home run, Shohei Ohtani, +240 on that one. Also, Ohtani, 2+ bases, because if you're getting a home run, you're going to get bases. So that's -130 there. And then the Yankees, because these games are at Dodger Stadium, Cody Bellinger, who you are familiar with,
very familiar with.
is returning as a Yankee. So I've got him 2+ bases, -105.
Oh, nice. Well, one thing I am sad about with going to the concert tomorrow is I'm going to miss UFC. This is terrible that they have scheduled this out now to where I'm missing all the UFC cards. But first up, Erin Blanchfield versus Macy Barber. I think Macy Barber is going to win this. She's the underdog, and she's also in the main event. And Ketlin Vieira versus Macy Chazon. I think Macy is going to win this one by the point. So, and then last but not least, I think the Oilers are going to win their first game, and it's going to be under 5.5. That's +260. So
+260.
There we go. Oilers are hot right now.
Well, they definitely score. They definitely. Oh man, that is an electric offense for sure. Again, I joked earlier that Connor McDavid would be cited in school zones because of how fast he could skate. That's for sure. Adam Gold Show rolls on.
Questioning goalie interference calls since day one. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
We have to talk to the Atlantic Coast Conference. Why in the world are State and Carolina not playing 2 college basketball games this season? For the first time in over a century, Carolina won't host State and men's basketball. What do you think your media partners want? More or less rivalries? We know the answer.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
If Heineken Silver was a 60-second radio ad, it'd tell you all the stuff you need to know in only 30 seconds to keep things light and refreshing. Seriously, time me. Heineken Silver, a world-class light beer that's surprisingly crisp and refreshing. Made with only premium quality ingredients and just 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories. All without compromising on taste. Heineken Silver. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly. Whew. 30 seconds. That's it. Done. Peace.
It's bow time. Yep, it's eating time again. Now you could unload groceries, chop, dice, mince, preheat, heat, slap around the smoke detector, and then celebrate with a big old pile of dishes. But if you're tired of cooking, or tired of sorta cooking, it's time to feed the whole family with Bojangles Fried Chicken Family Meal. With Bojangles' famous chicken, fixins, biscuits, and tea, you can forget the cookbook and spend some well-earned quality time with a delicious dinner from Bojangles. It's bow time.
There's no time like bow time. Time to stop whatever you're doing for some of that bodacious Bojangles flavor. Satisfy your craving for flavor and your passion for boneless chicken with Bojangles 4-piece Supremes dinner. 4 perfectly seasoned Cajun fried whole breast tenderloin fillets, choice of fixin', a made-from-scratch buttermilk biscuit, and Bojangles legendary iced tea. When you're hungry for flavor and value, it's Bo time.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-4961. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. There is zero risk to you. If we can't reduce your tax debt, then you pay nothing. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have a 5-star rating on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-4961. That's 800-575-4961. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
If you see something, why do you say something?
I see safe for my friends.
For my community.
For everyone here. We all have something worth protecting, a why that unifies us. Report suspicious activity to local authorities. If you see something, say something.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. No, we're not one of the big guys. Truth is, we don't want to be. If you're over 50, Big Wireless probably has you paying for more data than you might need. You could be throwing away thousands over a lifetime. We're not here to be the biggest. We're here to bring you something we believe is better. Our plans start at just $20. You'll get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com/facts. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
I'm attorney Brian Ritchie. Big truck accidents can cause life-changing injuries, and life-changing injuries deserve life-changing money. I know big truck wrecks, and I know how to fight those big insurance companies. If you've been hurt by a big truck, contact us at ritchielaw.com. I'm on top of it.
Broadcasting live from the Lenovo Studios. WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. 99.9 The Fan. The Triangle Sports Leader.
Why are you guys not calling this box office? I mean, you could make a case that outside Steph Curry and Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton maybe plays the most exciting style of basketball no doubt. is in the NBA. I mean, for him to have 15 assists last night and no turnovers with the wild-ass passes he makes, come on. And then you have SGA. If you want to call him free throw merchant, I can debunk that really quickly. But a guy who's a 6'6" Allen Iverson, I actually think it's quite box office. I just don't think it has the same media narratives that have been built that people want to sell the game on.
Adam Gold Show here on this Friday. Paul Ihander in for Adam Gold. Appreciate Adam letting me sit in for him today. Victoria is here as always, the rock of the program.
I love that you lean into my Friday.
Well, listen, it's the last Friday of the month of May.
Yep.
It all rhymes together.
Yep.
And I think we're in a good mood. I think it's important to send people off to a weekend in a pleasant state.
Yes.
More than anything else. Now, I'm not pleasant about what's in this cup, unfortunately.
I was going to say, you got the red Solo cup and everything.
I do. Well, I live with the red Solo cups. I truly do. If you don't know who I am, you should, because I filled in here before. But if you don't, most of the folks in the Triangle know me from hosting a morning show next up on the flagship station for Adam Gold, 99.9 The Fan in Raleigh. And for those of you who do know me, welcome back. Appreciate you hanging out with us today. It has been Canes checkout day. We've been running a lot of interviews with a lot of the guys as they head off to their cabins and lakes and things like that. And we'll have a lot of those interviews here throughout the hour. A couple things I want to catch up on you with as we've kicked off every hour by just talking about, hey, let's go high schools. There are 32 high schools right now that are vying for state championships this weekend. The weather hopefully will cooperate, keep fields not soggy but happy. And, of course, it's all outdoor events when it comes to the spring ball. So it's baseball, softball, and lacrosse. 32 teams across the state playing games today. So congratulations to you for making it to this moment. Hopefully it turns out the way you want it to. And to all the parents and supporters and friends of these kids, safe travels to wherever you're going. Make sure you've packed enough food for everybody and just a few extras in case somebody forgot something, because that's how you roll, right? We're neighbors. We're neighbors and we're friends. The other thing right now would be in college sports. The College World Series is underway, and I know a lot of you who listen to the Adam Gold Show listen in real time, so I want to give you a couple of updates here. First of all, NC State, they were supposed to play at 2 o'clock this afternoon because of rain in the south, and there's a lot of moisture going on. They've delayed that already by 2 hours, so they're not even going to first pitch until later on this afternoon, if that even happens. They could stretch that out even further. Wake right now is having a rough go against Cincinnati. They are down 8-2 in that game. That is the bottom of the second inning. Carolina, considered one of the favorites to make the College World Series in Omaha, is shutting out Holy Cross right now. That's 4-0. That is in Chapel Hill. Chapel Hill Regional underway. So baseball all weekend long in Chapel Hill. 4-0 over Holy Cross. That is in the 7th. And the bottom of the 5th in Conway, South Carolina, the Coastal Carolina Regional. ECU leads Florida 9-2. The Pirates are putting a hurt on the Gators.
Wow, look at them go.
Right now. So a little bit of everything right now, and then we're seeing a lot of delays. There's a lot of games that were supposed to have first pitches here early this afternoon. They just aren't happening, and one of those, again, includes NC State. They're now looking at a 4 o'clock start. All right, let's lean into the wall of sound, shall we?
The wall of sound is a function of this studio. There's no doubt about it.
There is no doubt about that. As I mentioned, it is Canes checkout day. Adam Gold, who is not here sitting with us, is over at the Canes checkout day talking to the players as they pack up their things before the summer break. Also over there, Dennis Cox, also host on the Carolina Hurricanes radio network. He was over there in our last hour. He had a chance to talk with Jaylen Chatfield. In this hour, we share the convo that he had with, I guess, the Canes spark plug. Could we call him that? The spark plug, Victoria?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, let's lean into that. The Canes spark plug, and one of the newer members of the Cane acquired midseason, Logan Stankoven.
Canes fans really have taken to you. They really have embraced you. Have you noticed that in the time you've been here, the fans really embracing you as part of this team?
Yeah, I have. It's definitely noticeable, and it's a great feeling, but it's hopefully continue to get better and better. And I'm only 22, so just keep developing, and that's the main thing. So, yeah, it is nice to have that support, though. It's definitely a great feeling to have as a player.
How have you embraced this, not just the team, but the city? Because it's one thing for a fan base to buy in, but for a player to buy in as well. How have, in a short period of time, been able to just quickly embrace this area?
Yeah, I like I know it is a bigger city, but not quite as big as Dallas, but it feels more like a smaller city vibes, I feel, and I like how everyone is really welcoming and supportive, and it's so cool how you're showing up to games beforehand and they're out there tailgating, and people are kind of they're all in and excited for what we have going on here, and it's great to see the building packed every night. It's a fun crowd to play in front of.
I know you and I talked when you first arrived here about, hey, did you know anybody? So you kind of skated maybe a little bit with, was it Blake or Jarvis a little bit in the offseason? A little bit, but who really took you under the wing when you first arrived here? I know the group, we always hear about everyone embraces the new guy that comes in, but who really took you under their wing when you first arrived?
Yeah, I'd say KK and Jarvie. Fishy as well, but yeah, I'd say those were the guys that have kind of really connected with me and made me feel at home. Going out for meals and whatnot, and both here and on the road, and just including me and stuff. Got out for a round of golf with a few of those guys, so it's fun to kind of it's an icebreaker, right? That's what it's about. It's just getting to know each other and getting comfortable with each other, and hopefully down the road, be together as a group, and you create some great friendships.
Is there any place around Raleigh that you really like, okay, I got to go back to this place again, whether it's a golf course, restaurant, whatever it might be?
Yeah, there's a few spots. In terms of golf, I went out to, I think it's Old Chatham. Mm-hmm. Is that how you said? I'm not sure exactly, right. But yeah, that was a beautiful course. Jarvie, and I went with Jarvie, KK, and Freddie for a round of golf a while back there before playoffs started. But that was beautiful. Got out to a Teddy Swims concert at the Red Amphitheater or Red Hat?
Red Hat,
yeah.
downtown,
So that was an awesome venue. Those were just a few of the things that I got out to, and pretty cool place. So.
I guess reason why I'm asking these is because a lot of people really don't know who these players are. They obviously see what you do on the ice, but there's obviously the person that's underneath the jersey. How difficult is it when you're traded in the middle of the season to just have that opportunity, just like, okay, like, how do I even get to the rink? Like, where's there to eat? I don't even know where to go. You maybe been here once as a visiting player, but that's really about it. It does take a little bit of time to adapt.
Yeah, it does. It is nice when you do have people within the organization. You know, our team services people help us out and get that all figured out. For most part, they do a really good job. So, like you said, finding places to eat were tough at first, and living out of a hotel for a while there. But it's been great here, and I know the area pretty well now. So, yeah.
All right, let's actually go to the on-the-ice part of things. Scoring goals in the postseason, it's not an easy thing to do because space, it's tighter. Guys are on top of you quicker. Those gaps are so tight. How have you been able to, playing in 2 conference finals now, been able to say, you know what, I don't change my game, but also this moment's not too big for me, even as a rookie?
Yeah, I think just past experiences, getting to play in some really big hockey games. I've been able to play in a couple of World Junior Championships and Memorial Cup, and you get used to kind of having a lot of eyes on you. And when you look at things, it's not really a winning and a losing. It's more of a winning and a learning, I think. You can't be afraid to make mistakes on the biggest stage. You kind of got to go all in sometimes, and I think that's just kind of my mindset going into a lot of those games is you just got to be comfortable out there, play your game. I'd rather be over-aggressive than not aggressive enough. So I think that's just kind of my mindset.
I think you're going into the final year of your entry-level contract. Have you had any conversations with the team about extension or anything along those lines yet?
Not yet, but obviously I'd love to be here for a long time. And no talks yet, but hopefully that's something that can start to figure out down the road here.
That last part, I think, is what Canes fans were waiting for.
Yes, we should be excited to hear that.
That someone wants to be here for a long time.
Yep.
And that is probably it's an off the cuff answer from Logan Stankoven, but probably the one that Canes fans were hoping to hear based on how it all ended up. And for a guy who's 22, he's definitely mature. Again, having the chance to spend a little bit of time with him, I'm like, it's not like we went golfing or had steaks together or whatever. But
right.
in the few minutes I had conversation with him, I mean, what you see is what you get. And I appreciate the fact that he wants someone to pull him back as opposed to being told to go, dude, go do this, especially on the ice. Like, I'm just going to roll out there as hard and as fast as I can. And if coach says pull it back 10%, then I'll pull it back 10%. But I don't think that will ever happen to this kid.
Yeah.
Ever.
No. No. Because Rod isn't, he wants you to go too far and he'll reel you in if you need to, but no. I love how well he fits with this team. He was like made for the Canes.
It does.
And he's got a long future ahead of him, too.
You hope so. You hope those conversations get underway sooner than later when it comes to Logan Stankoven. Again, one of those grabs you weren't quite expecting, but it was pretty clear when the trade was made and Dallas sent him here that they weren't like, I'm not sure. Could you take somebody else from us? And to the credit of the front office of the Canes, they said, no, we want that guy. And it worked out.
Stanky and janky.
So
we got to be able to still be able to say that. Stanky and janky.
You just want to own that one, right? You're really appreciating the nicknames
I love
it. It is the Adam Gold Show. Paul Eichender in for Adam today on this Friday. Canes checkout day as well. More conversations with those Canes, including my postseason MVP, Jaccob Slavin. It's coming up next on the Adam Gold Show.
Talking sports, so you don't have to pretend to know stuff. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Listen every afternoon for The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
We have to talk to the Atlantic Coast Conference. Why in the world are State and Carolina not playing 2 college basketball games this season? For the first time in over a century, Carolina won't host State and men's basketball. What do you think your media partners want? More or less rivalries? We know the answer.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 3 to 6 on 99.9 The Fan.
Navy Federal Credit Union celebrates Military Appreciation Month in May. Whether you're active duty, a veteran, or a military family, we are all united this month to celebrate those who go above and beyond. As a credit union created for the military community, Navy Federal takes special care to ensure that our members feel celebrated and honored every day and every May. So from all of us at Navy Federal, happy Military Appreciation Month. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA.
Hello, I'm Joe Cordell, founder of Cordell & Cordell. Divorce is complicated, especially when your small business or professional practice is involved. At Cordell & Cordell, we understand that these assets raise unique valuation and allocation issues. For 35 years, we've helped doctors, lawyers, and small business owners navigate divorce with confidence. Call us at Cordell & Cordell. Let me tell you, I understand on a personal level, your business is much more than a job. It's your legacy.
Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois. CordellCordell.com.
Westwood One Sports presents this special tennis update. The odds makers have made Iga Swiatek the ever-so-slight favorite to win the women's singles at Roland Garros. After all, with her victory today, Swiatek's match record over the last 6 years in Paris is 35-1. But Aryna Sabalenka is the number 1 player in the world, the winner of 3 recent Grand Slams. After her win, she was asked to handicap the tournament.
I don't know. It's tough to predict in women's tennis, but let's just leave it on Iga, since she won it, 3 times in a row already, right? So I'll just leave it for her.
Jasmine Paolini, seeded 4th, also won today with victories by Tommy Paul and Ben Shelton. At least 3 Americans will reach the men's singles 4th round. The U.S. assured a victory in the All-American match going on now. Francis Tiafoe and Seb Korda are in a first-set tiebreaker. John Stanshauer, Westwood One Sports.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our client's portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Barbecue season is back. Hey, it's Ellen.
And this is Sarah Beth.
And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich is that zesty barbecue sauce. I love that it was a little sweet, a little tangy, and with the mac and cheese,
I feel like I tasted the brown sugar bacon first. It was the absolute best combination. Pro tip, 3 sandwiches are always better than 1.
Order the Smokehouse Barbecue Bacon Sandwich and our Coca-Cola on the Chick-fil-A app for a limited time. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
This is Adam Gold.
While I'm watching Colombia-Uruguay, not only the end of that match, but the fight in the stands after it.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Heard it got spicy.
That was the most excited fans we have seen in 5 years at Bank of America Stadium. Man, look at all the happy people at Bank of America.
Just took the other kind of football.
Yeah, there you go. More of that.
The Adam Gold Show.
Let's have a party. Let's have a party. So look up. It fills you up. Victoria, you nailing me today. Adam Gold Show here. Paul Ihander with you. Victoria there with the choice song selection. R.I.P. Toby Keith.
I know.
I know. A lot of people don't realize he passed. Like, it's been a couple of years now.
I know, and it doesn't even feel like it's been that long, but yeah, it's been a minute. He did.
Red Solo.
It's like that is the national anthem of parties.
That's all right. Hey, listen, a lot of tailgating, a lot of solo cups for sure. You just don't play telephone with these.
Exactly.
You don't play telephone with these. Hello, what are you saying? Drink me? Okay.
Oh, okay. Why not? You don't even have to throw a little ping pong ball in there.
I can do that. Oh. we can do the drinky pong.
Yep.
Love me some good adult bevies. Today is Kate's. Wow. We're just
I love it.
It's
bevies.
Friday. It's Friday. Today is Canes checkout day. A lot of players finally bagging up all their stuff, signing pucks for their friends and whatnot. Sending things out and making sure that the last minutes are wrapped up, because this is the last time the Carolina Hurricanes will be together as this team. There will be change. There will be turnover, but we have one constant. We have my postseason MVP and a guy who has grabbed a lot of attention, and I want to get your take on this, Victoria, before we play this, because we're going to hear from Jaccob Slavin here in just a mere moment. There was a time last season, and I'm trying to draw comparisons to those who don't do the hockey, right? I've dropped a lot of NBA references on the show today. And for those who don't do the hockey, the way I equate this is, after the Four Nations Cup, which was back in February, where Jacob went to go play for Team USA, and we had Sweden, Finland, Canada, and USA, Jaccob Slavin's name started coming up as this elite defender, which, as we know here in Carolina, we all get it. You know, we've seen him night in and night out. You're at the games, I'm at the games. You know, the fans who've season tickets and those who just casually know, they look at Jaccob Slavin, they're like, what makes him special? And they're like, well, he controls the puck, he makes smart decisions, he's able to kind of pickpocket the stars, essentially, on the ice, which makes him great. And he can also log 28 minutes a night when called for.
Right.
But for Slavin, he was being talked up so much, and all of a sudden, kind of everybody outside of Carolina started seeing what he could do.
Mm-hmm.
And I equate this to what happened last year with Minnesota Timberwolves shooting guard Anthony Edwards.
Yeah.
Ant-Man, right? The Ant-Man. And everybody was jumping on the fact that this guy could jump out of a gym. He had shot selection, could take over basketball games. No one was saying he was the next Jordan or the next LeBron, but kind of like the next kind of star or face of the NBA. And Jaccob Slavin is not going to be the face of the NHL. We have face of the NHL. I think if you could name five NHL players off the top of your head, they would all be on billboards before Jaccob Slavin would.
Mm-hmm.
But because he's like this hot commodity and more people are talking about him, I hope, fingers crossed, that it doesn't turn into this afterthought. That the nation who is now taking notice of him doesn't stop.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't go, oh, yeah, he just happens to be there. Or there's like a next kind of du jour or whatever it is, that he keeps getting the flowers on a consistent basis. And I think this is on not necessarily Canes fans, because we know who he is, but I think this is on the organization to make sure that he is front and center on all these just kind of categories when it comes to talking about dominant players in this game. That while we've got the Carolina Hurricanes, I say we a little bit too much, but I'm invested, that while Seth Jarvis is there and Sebastian Aho is there and whoever gets brought in free agency will be a thing, that Jaccob Slavin is not lost in that shuffle, that national narrative continues, that they continue to talk about him.
Right.
Because the one thing that the NHL does not do well, and I've actually said this to NHL people that I know, I go, you don't market your guys very well. You do it so subtlety. I'm like, Austin Matthews had this campaign at the beginning of the season where he was unboxing all these uniforms as they unveiled this new uniform thing with Fanatics. And it was great. It really tugged at the heartstrings because they were trying to get memories from him or whatnot. But at no point did they stress the fact that they are placing these jerseys in front of one of the top 3 players in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And not just a top 3 player, a homegrown player from the United States.
Yeah.
And I think they failed on that. And now you've got a guy from the United States. And again, you have to group him into 20 other guys who are top-level guys. But you think about the top 20 players in the NHL that made Team USA in this Four Nations Classic that everybody took notice of, and he happens to play in your barn.
Yep.
And so I think they need to take advantage of that and not let him be an Anthony Edwards. Not have all this talk and all this talk and all this talk, and then all of a sudden move on from him so quickly because Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is the MVP of the NBA at Oklahoma City. He deserves his flowers too. But not have the next guy surpass it so fast to where you stop being part of that conversation.
Yeah. Canes just have to keep him on the forefront. We all know it here, though. I'm glad that the Four Nations at least highlighted him. Now they just got to keep it going.
Just got to keep it going. Speaking of keeping it going, the chat with Jaccob Slavin and Adam Gold.
First of all, you have a beard all year long, and now you don't have one. I don't even understand. Why did you shave?
I guess it's summertime now, and I kept the mustache though. You can't see this, but there's a mustache there, and
looks good.
Yeah, I know. I don't know. Just it's summertime. It's hot out, and so get some more airflow on the beard. Maybe a little sunshine on it this year.
All right, it's a disappointing end, obviously, but can you reflect on just what the season was?
I mean, the season as a whole, I think it was a little up and down, if we're being quite honest.
Mm-hmm.
And so, obviously, we wanted to win it all. And I think if you'd still say what a disappointment it was to be knocked out. But I mean, overall, I mean, it was a good year. You make it to the Eastern Conference Finals. You're one of the final four teams. The recipe's there. And
right.
So, from a positive note, the recipe's there. It's just little ingredients that you gotta fix, you gotta change, and you just gotta be better at.
It's funny, the narrative, and I heard there was one of the reporters covering the series here. It's like, is this style? Can you really win? Nobody asked that for Dallas. They keep getting to the conference finals and losing. Nobody asked Dallas if their style. When you hear that, is that disrespectful in some ways?
I don't know about disrespectful. I mean, I guess you could say maybe ignorance, right? Because
that's a good word too.
If other people, but and not in a rude way, but I mean, Florida played the exact same style of hockey we just played, and they won a cup with it last year, and they're in the Stanley Cup final again this year, and it's the exact same style of hockey that we play. It's as little stress on you as possible without making cutesy plays through the neutral zone without turning the puck over, getting the puck out of your zone as quick as you can. In any ways, you see how they high flip the puck so many times that series. And so you're not even making tape-to-tape passes. You're just getting the puck out of your zone and getting it into their zone. And then when your skill has a chance to take over, you let it take over, but not forcing it. And so that's all they did. And then they scored on the power play. And I mean, we had a couple power play goals ourselves, but so I mean that was their game, and that's what we try to do, and so we have to execute at it a little bit better, and three conference finals in 7 years, I think speaks to the success that it can bring. It's just the execution when you get down to the wire, when other teams are also playing that game, it just has to be that much better.
Yeah, there were a lot of national narratives. Couldn't win a conference final game, as though 09 and even 19, there's only 5 players on this team from that team.
Had anything to do with.
Right. Now, I get Florida, the series 2 years ago, because I think there were 10 players from that team on this team. So when you think back, do you at all think about 23, 4 games, all decided by one, essentially 3 overtime games because of the Tkachuk goal that ended the series with 4.3 seconds left. And this series, I mean, you won a game, but it seemed like I don't know. How do you even think about that series at all?
I honestly don't think about it too much, just because 10 guys is a lot of guys. That's
right.
That's 10 different guys in the lineup that weren't there. And so I think you have a completely different team, completely different vibe. But I mean, if you want to go back to that series, you play 4 games and they're all 1-goal games, and you play 2 games within 1 game because you go to 4 overtimes, and so
more than 2,
exactly. And so,
I was here late too.
Yes, exactly. And so I mean, you look at that series and you look how tight it was, and just the fact that one post, the game of inches, if you want to be
Seth
real.
Probably still thinks about it.
Yes, exactly. And so it happens. And so, but then going into this series, I would love to. Obviously, you can't, but I would love to go back and start the series over at Game 4 and say we actually gave a fighting chance to win games, because I think in the first 3 games we didn't give ourselves that chance to win because we handed them the games.
But even Game 3, I mean, it's 1-1 going to the third period. I actually thought the second period of Game 3 was your best period of the series at that point. And then it kind of went.
And then stress game, and then we turned pucks over and we let their skill take over. But they didn't change their game to get those chances. They kept on it, and so that's where I say the execution needs to be better.
All right, let me ask you about a couple of moments from the season. Four Nations. How much fun was that for you? And does it make you look forward to the Olympics more?
Yeah, Four Nations was awesome. I think that was my first, I would say, real taste of international hockey. And really being able to be in it and play against some of the best players in the world, all on the same team, all on the same ice. So, I mean, from an experience standpoint, it was awesome. My family got to be there with me. I look at it as a bigger stage that I get to glorify God on and just show the abilities He's given me and do it all for His glory. So that was really cool. But yeah, I would say it definitely makes me excited about the Olympics. If it was a tryout, I think I put a good word in for myself, and so we'll see what happens.
So I want to ask you about that because it almost seemed like we've seen you play for 9 years now. We know what you're about. We know how good you are. And how do you process when other people outside of here are just now recognizing, hey, that Slavin guy is really good? How does that affect you at all?
Honestly, I wouldn't say it affects me much at all. Again, I go back to where my identity lies, and that's in being a child of God. And so whether people say good things about me, bad things about me, whether they recognize me,
nobody
whatever
says bad things about you, Jacob. Sorry.
As long as it points back to Jesus and to His glory, then that's all I care about.
All right. So you are interested, though, in the Olympics?
Yes.
So we'll tack on however many more games. You want to play GM with me for a second. Mm-hmm. If you could add one element to your team, what would it be? Not a player, an element.
I think as a group, and it can even come from within, just a little bit extra team toughness. I mean, I can be the first one to speak up that
you knocked Barkov on his rear end during the.
Yeah, but physicality. I mean, that's never really been a huge part of my game, and so I know I can add that a little bit more. Not in the sense of going out and like crushing guys every shift, but just as a team being harder to get to the net, making it harder on other teams to stop us from getting to the net. Little things like that, and I think we started to add it a little bit better this playoffs of just finishing defensemen every time we go on the forecheck, making it hard, being hard to play against, but then also sticking up for each other a little bit more, a little bit better. And again, I can be the first one that can be better at that because that's not my game, but just having that care factor to do it and being willing to do it.
All right, final thing. And when I think about this season, it's really weird, but the first thing I think about is the handshake line. And I'm getting a little emotional now between you and the Devils and Brett.
Yeah.
So what was that like for you, knowing that he's still part of the core, right?
Yeah.
I don't think he'll ever not be part of this core.
It's sad to think about, honestly.
See?
I know, no, it
I
is.
cried. I swear to you,
I
cried.
I know, but I started my career with him. He'd been here all 9. I guess we're 10 years in the league now, and he'd been there for 9 of them. And so
I shorted you a year. I apologize.
That's okay. That's okay. But no, he wasn't here for the 10th year, and so
okay.
It's sad to think about. And so going through that handshake line, I mean, he's just saying, "Go get it done." Like you could tell he was just as excited for us to be moving on as we were to be moving on, and he wanted us to win it so badly. And I'm sure in a way he probably would have felt a little bit like he won it with us. And so, I mean, that's just the closeness that we had with him, and that's what he meant to this team and the organization.
Thanks, man. Have a good summer.
Absolutely.
Appreciate it.
Jacob Slavin gives us such team dad vibes.
Big time.
When you listen to him speak, and that's a man who's grounded clearly in faith and humble in his ability, and it's unusual for him to take. I'm not sure how he celebrates. Does he celebrate his kudos? I mean, is that
right?
Is that possible? He is just steady.
Oh yeah,
so steady.
You can see why he's our Lady Binger.
Undeniable. Lady Bing. Can we call it something else? Can we turn over this the Eastern Conference? The Eastern Conference trophy is the Prince of Wales trophy,
right? Yeah.
So the Prince Charles trophy,
right? Exactly.
That's what it was, right? The Prince of Wales. That was Prince Charles.
Yep.
I don't know.
I know.
We're gonna answer a question. We could take another breather here. I need to take another sip out of the cup. Who needs to take over the let's have a beer with that guy and hang at his house role for the Carolina Hurricanes? I'll explain that next here on the Adam Gold Show.
From the heels,
touchdown Carolina,
to the canes.
She scores!
He covers it all. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
During the sports season, the Governor's Highway Safety Program would like to remind you to buckle your seatbelt when traveling to and from athletic events. Wearing a seatbelt is your best defense against injury or death in a crash. Prioritize your safety and buckle up. Every seat, every time. Remember, click it or ticket. It's the law. This message is brought to you by the North Carolina High School Athletic Association and the Governor's Highway Safety Program. The Body Armor State Games are coming to Greensboro this June. Registration is open to athletes of all ages and skill levels in 20 different sports. The Body Armor State Games feature 11,000 athletes and 600 teams. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Visit bodyarmorstategames.org today. That's bodyarmorstategames.org. The Body Armor State Games are proud to partner with Truist, Lowe's Foods, and Blue Cross and Blue Shield of North Carolina.
It's the first day of the first grade, and she found a new best friend. It's a laid-back Sunday afternoon you wish would never end. The homemade taste of Bluebell and good friends gathered round. The good old days are being made right now.
Bluebell Groom's Cake Ice Cream is renewing its vows on the frozen aisle. Milk chocolate ice cream with chocolate cake pieces, chocolate-coated strawberry hearts, swirls of strawberry sauce, and chocolate icing. See you at the reception.
The good old days are being made right now. The good old days are being made right now.
Look for Bluebell ice cream at your local grocer and pick up your favorite flavor today.
Have you ever heard of paramedics who don't just respond to emergencies, but work to prevent them? The North Carolina Healthcare Association invites you to listen to this month's podcast, Conversations on the State of Healthcare. Cape Fear Valley Health's Community Paramedic Program is a groundbreaking initiative where paramedics aren't just transporting patients, they're building bridges to better care, right from the patient's living room. Here's Cape Fear's Alinda Bailey.
We're not just asking, what's your medical emergency? We're asking, do you have problems obtaining your medicines? Can you get to your appointments? Are you safe? Are you supported? We try to identify not only the medical needs, the mental health needs, but also the social determinants that play a factor in the care of our patients and clients.
Join our latest Conversations on the State of Healthcare wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. And learn more by visiting nchealthcare.org.
Are you struggling with your Medicare drug costs? The NC Department of Insurance SHIP program may be able to help. The Extra Help and Medicare Savings programs are available for those who qualify, but you have to apply. Contact SHIP today to see if you qualify. Visit ncshiip.com or call toll-free at 855-408-1212. SHIP provides free, unbiased help in all 100 counties.
Project supported by grants from the Administration for Community Living. Contents do not necessarily represent official views of, nor an endorsement by ACL, HHS, or the U.S. government.
Here at NC Cyber Academy, screens are a good thing. At our K-12 tuition-free virtual charter school, your child can find a flexible and personalized education that lets them take a brain break when they need it, but also provides structured one-on-one time with our amazing teachers. But we also power down our laptops for in-person activities with fellow students to build community. Visit myncca.com to learn how we can set your child up for success in the classroom, at college, and in their careers.
One Adam. Gold. One Adam. Gold.
Because if interrupting is part of the talent, then she wins.
Giving an RBF face? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I mean, everybody saw it.
I didn't say it. I
that picture
did not say that.
When they were asking Bill and she interrupts him and they look at her, that's evil. Like,
yeah. Okay.
I was waiting for the lights to come out of her pupils.
You're not wrong.
The Adam Gold Show.
It's Friday night. There you go.
Such a great Friday banger.
Johnny Gill, formerly of New Edition, had a hand in the development of Belle Biv DeVoe.
Oh, yeah.
BBD, for those of you who know. I used to DJ back in the day, so this this is wheelhouse, girlfriend.
Yep.
Adam Gold Show, Paul Ihander in for Adam Gold today. Getting ready to wrap up a Friday with all of you. Wherever you're headed today, make sure you just do it with class and do it safely, please. Victoria there making the selections today. So as I pose the question, Victoria, we know that, and we're doing that hockey again. Apologies for those of you who do not do that hockey, but I think this is a question I think you can ask yourselves in a different light. So we all grow up as kids, we morph into young adults and then adults and whatnot. And it's hard to have relationships as adults, right? We move along, some people move on, they change jobs, neighborhoods, you get married, you buy a new house, something happens in your world where you just kind of start drifting apart or whatnot. And I think the same happens, obviously, in professional locker rooms. Adam Gold just asked Jaccob Slavin about what it was like to hug Brett Pesce, who ended up in New Jersey. Steph Nason was in New Jersey as well. And, in sports, movement is inevitable. But as adults, we see the same things. And you get attached to people. You have a handful of friends you may still see at schools, at reunions and things like that. Or maybe there's a little cadre of neighborhood guys or whatever it is. But when I think about the team and I think about the Carolina Hurricanes, Victoria, if some of these guys move on, and I kind of have an assumption, it's not an assumption, it's kind of a truth. When some of the free agents move on, and it will happen, who kind of takes their place and takes their roles? Like, for example, last year, we talked about a physical guy. Steph Nason's the guy that others around the hockey world had said, the Carolina Hurricanes could have really used his presence. 6'1" dude, built solid, 230, camped out in front of the net, had a great season, ends up parlaying that into cash. Nobody blames him for that. Well, I think about the dynamics of the locker room and the friendly faces that are in there because they all grow together, and we're going to hear Sebastian Aho here in a few minutes talk about how that dynamic played out when his friend, Mikko Rantanen, joined the locker room as well. What I'm getting at here, Brett Burns is 40 years old. He is entering unrestricted free agency. If, and I'm saying the word if, air quotes, if, because I don't know what's going to happen. Eric Tulsky's not going to call me, and you might. Eric, hey, pick up the phone, dude. Give me a call. Tell me what you're doing. I would love to know first.
Right.
If Brett Burns does move on from this team, he's the guy that everybody went to his house for. They went and had dinner at his house. He cooked them food. This is documented. It's not like some big secret. Like, he invited guys over his house, and he was that guy I could see on this Carolina Hurricanes team where if you took the invite and you were going over there, you knew you were going to eat well, you were going to drink well, and you were going to have a good time.
Yes, and you would be required to text him when you got home to make sure you got home okay. So he seems like one of those kind of guys.
So that's the guy on this team that you do that with. Mm-hmm. If, again, in air quotes, if he moves on and the Carolina Hurricanes do not sign him to another contract, again, he is free to go about the country. You are free to move about the country, as they used to say. Who takes that place on the Carolina Hurricanes team among the current crew?
Yeah. Well, the first one that pops up into my brain is Martinook.
Oh, so you're quick.
Yeah. I mean, I would think Martinook.
I was head scratching on this one. I really am. So why Jordan?
Because I feel like he has that presence in the locker room. I feel like he's the guy that's lifting everyone up, keeping them, kind of focused. If things get down, he seems to be the chipper one to get them going. He'll make big plays on the ice when things look to go sideways sometimes, which revs up the team. So I could see him doing that in real life.
Because you can't do it with the coaches.
No,
I can't. I can't hang out with Rod. That's not how it works. I doubt even Skylar hangs out with Rod as much as you want to believe.
Except in the gym.
You see the pictures of the two of them standing together, like when he made his NHL debut, and it was kind of like, we're just here.
Take the picture for mom.
Right. Exactly. This is more for mom and the family Christmas letter than it is for anything else.
Yep.
Okay. I think that's just, I'm not sure there's a right or a wrong answer to that one, but I think that's an answer that when we talk about guys that fit a system and fit into the locker room and fit into culture, I think that's one of those factors that doesn't get talked about enough, to where you talk about dynamics in a locker room, and it's okay because we're great on the line together, right? We can anticipate where you're going. Are you going deep? Are you going to the corner? Or am I going to catch you just sliding across, like Alex Ovechkin and Haley's Comet style?
Right.
Where, he just kind of slowly goes through, and it's coming.
Yep, you see it.
It's coming. Just one of those kind of things that I toss and turn about.
Do you think anybody would fit well in that situation?
In that role, it's interesting because we just came off the Slavin interview, and I was thinking maybe that's the guy.
Yeah.
And he's a family guy.
Right.
So I could assume that a gathering at his home would have lots of leafy greens.
Oh, yeah.
and really healthy options and whatnot. And again, maybe I'm joking.
You know who might be a curveball that we're not thinking of? Who's newer?
Okay.
Stankoven.
Because
he seems like a guy. He's a Canes guy.
He seems like a guy that could get a lot of guys together.
Yep.
For sure.
He's new to the area.
I just don't know if he's going to be the cook. And
No.
the dude I believe is living, he's still temporary quarters.
He's
He hadn't
ordering
been
the
here
pizzas. It's video game and pizzas.
Video games and pizzas. All right. There is that, I suppose. Word came out today about how much Cooper Flagg made at Duke, the number 1 pick in the 2025 NBA draft. This is going to happen, by the way. He's going to be the number 1 pick. And it feels like his running mates right now, even Sion James. So Sion James, Tyrese Proctor, they believe after Knepel and Malawach are going to go top 7 in one of the mock drafts I just saw, that James and Proctor won't last very much longer in that second round either. So they're all coming off the board. Like, John Shire, hat tip to you, friend. You have raised fine young men and future NBA stars. Cooper Flagg has came out in a podcast involving Bob Costas and journalist Howard Wright. A unique little nugget where we all believe that the NIL valuation of Cooper Flagg was about $5 million. Apparently, he wasn't sharing the truth, or the Flagg family was not forthcoming in what he was going to make. Apparently, and this is a sit-down that Bob Costas had with Bryant in front of a live studio audience, by the way, which is, hey, well done. And he got lots of oohs and ahs. They were asked about how much Flagg made at NIL. And again, I remind you, the valuation was $5 million. Costas was asked, I have no clue. Costas isn't involved in that at all. But Howard Bryant goes, you know how much it was? $28 million. $28 million in name, image, and likeness. And that's just through the stuff that we know. Like, he could be getting hamburgers from somebody else, and they're not giving him anything. Just, here it is, what's that? Cheeseburgers. Excellent. $13 million from New Balance. $15 million with Fanatics. Other people had Fanatics deals too, and apparently there's a guy, like I believe he's in Mebane, maybe he's in Greensboro or something, who pulled one of like the Cooper Flagg signed cards.
Oh.
And I believe he may or may not take it to auction. I think there was a big story written about this guy on in the local TV. As a matter of fact, it was WRAL who met the guy, and they were like, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to auction or whatever it was.
Wow. But
he had that deal with Fanatics. And so what it tells me right now is that while his valuation was believed to be $5 million and that he was getting paid $28 million, that we still have absolutely zero idea about what name, image, and likeness is truly worth to players, and especially to dragons and unicorns like Cooper Flagg. All right, we need to run it back here, Victoria. We need to run it back. Little rewind here. Canes camp out, Canes checkout day today as they all leave for their pastures, wherever they may need to be, or maybe it's just the wilderness and some retreat in the dark. Sebastian Aho had a very, very genuine sit-down with our own Adam Gold.
I know it was a disappointing end.
Yeah.
But walk me through. There's a lot of good things about this season. Obviously, getting to where you got. I mean, there's a lot of teams that would like to have been playing in the Final Four nations. Yeah. Everything you went through personally. How do you look back on this year?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff happened. Obviously, a lot of hockey. Obviously played till the conference finals and played 4 nations, and I don't know how many regular season games I played.
A lot.
So yeah, I mean
most of them.
Yeah, and then so a lot happened. Obviously, it was but it's good. Like I said there before, that it's a privilege to be able to play a lot of hockey, and you want to play these games. I mean, it's yeah. I mean, I don't even know how to wrap this year. Obviously, it's a disappointment not be able to make the push for a next step, but there's a lot of good things too. We played some good hockey. We had some, obviously we beat 2 really good teams too, and Florida obviously got better from us, but you gotta keep trying and keep pushing, and hopefully we'll get there.
What was the difference between this series with Florida and the last time? You didn't win any last time, but those games could have gone either way. What was the difference between this year and 2 years ago?
Obviously, going down 3 is not probably the best way to try to win the series, right? So, I mean, game 1, score was bad, but there was a lot, it wasn't that bad of a game. I mean, the score was obviously brutal, and it doesn't matter how you end up winning or losing. You either win or lose, right? So but then the game 2 was obviously probably the worst game of the series, and that, obviously hurt us big time to, you'd like to see better bounce back after game 1 and try to win that, and then you go there 1-1 situation and whatever. But I don't want to sit here and try to they were better. They obviously beat us in 5, so better team went advanced, and I do believe in 7-game series, better team always wins. And but yeah, we'll at the end, that was we can be the effort that we put in last 2 games. I thought we played really good hockey, and we showed everyone for sure to ourselves that when we play like that, we can beat any team any given day. So kind of try to take those moments with us, and you have them keep moving forward.
By the way, I think it's more than acceptable to really think that Game 3 was there too, right? It's 1-1. You guys, the second period of Game 3 was, to that point, by far your best period of the playoffs. Maybe could have been ahead. And then that it unraveled is unfortunate, but there were chances there. Everybody had to deal with the episode where we had Mikko Rantanen here. You had to deal with it probably on levels that they didn't. How did you get through it? What was it like as you were going through it?
Yeah, it was stressful. It was tiring. Obviously, I was, for sure affected me and Mikko's play too in a way that there's so much uncertainty, and it's easy to say, okay, you don't think about this stuff, but it's a big deal, it's big deal for him, big deal for myself, organization, fans, everything. It wasn't the easiest situation, obviously, for us, and obviously I was I was with him. I was really, we talk about it so much, and we, went over certain stuff, and obviously the stuff that, it's gonna it's gonna stay between us, but. It was quite a kind of stressful and tiring month, at least.
Yeah, I likened it to there's a new girl in school, and everybody wants to make a great impression. You want to impress the new girl. Fans, everybody wanted it to work so badly. Did you fall into that too, knowing how good he is and what he could bring to this team? Did you want it to work so badly that?
Yeah, I mean, of course, I wanted to, type of player he is, caliber player he is, good friend of mine,
Right.
So obviously you try to do whatever. And then, we talk about it too with him, because I feel like even the you don't think about it on the ice, but like maybe you look back at the tape after the game and you're like, okay, I shouldn't even try to force that pass, you know?
Right.
So maybe
I agree.
So it does like affect in a way that like you have to just play the game and let things happen instead of like forcing plays and try to, you know, find your guy, you know. But yeah, I guess that's another learning curve for myself and probably a lot of people who was involved with the situation. How, you know, we. Yeah, it was a new situation. It was a weird situation and
totally
hard for many.
I felt bad for you. I really did.
Yeah, I mean, don't feel bad for me. I mean, that's but thanks anyways. Yeah, I mean, that stuff obviously doesn't happen that often, and it's certainly first for us. And yeah, I mean, that's some of the stuff that you learn from as well, to like kind of how you like handle in these situations if it ever would happen again.
All right, let me ask you one more question. The Players Tribune piece that came out basically about the time where this was all getting crazy, right?
Right.
I'm just curious. Hey, what's going on, Spitz? He's unbelievable. Did you write that?
No, like not physically. No,
Right.
It was like a long interview.
Okay.
And then how they do it is like based off the interview.
Right.
He makes a story, right? So like, no, I did not.
But it was your thoughts. And I thought it came out at the perfect time because it was at the end of that Mikko's saga. And I thought it spoke to how you feel about the organization, about the head coach, and about the way the team plays. And I could tell just talking to you how that matters to you.
Yeah, it does. I mean, obviously, got drafted here 10 years ago already, which is crazy. And
it is crazy.
I mean, stayed here for all my career, and obviously Raleigh's home now, and yeah, so stuff. Yeah, I mean, I love the organization, love the city, love the boys in the room. You know, it's obviously a special place for me, and obviously just trying to bring the, you know, win the cup for the city and for the organization, and that's like the end goal. And yeah, I've been loving it since day one.
Sebastian Aho with Adam Gold. Really raw, genuine conversation there. Clearly, Sebastian Aho had a lot to deal with this season. Mid-season, clearly in the playoffs. New dad as well, adapting to some new life. So it's been a very, very exhausting day, I think, for the Canes as they finally took a little bit of the emotion out and finally had to start dealing with a few things that were real. And really, the reality is this is the last time this team will be together. Victoria, appreciate you. Enjoy the concert in Charlotte. I'm jelly.
Yeah, it was a fun Friday with you.
A fun Friday for sure. Thanks to Adam Gold for letting me hang out in the chair. Paul Eihander wishing you a great sports weekend. And as always, keep it on the shiny part.
Talking sports, dropping truth. The Adam Gold Show on the North Carolina Sports Network.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. We're in the offseason, but it doesn't mean me and my co-host, WREL TV's Chris Lee, take a break from our podcast, Panthers Playbook. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on Panthers news as training camp approaches, insights on the rookies, the free agents, and the surprises, plus all the insider